1, 2, check Chuffy 1, 2. Hi, you're with Scott. I'm Genshin Kid. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is a kind of little test stream on Battery Exhausted. I'm going to play some Genshin Impact, do my daily commissions, and I've got another new bit of kit for this upstairs room. So how can this be saying? Oh, great! Already, I'm an idiot. I was going to get the phone on as my chat. And already. So, dude, where's the fucking? Oh, I should have everything ready. This is why this is a test stream. Test. We're going to be doing. I can get my words out. I can't even sit on the stool because it just nearly fell over. It's all going wrong. I've got a new microphone, a new mixer. Not a new microphone, an old microphone plugged into the new mixer. Not a full mixer for the decks, just a sound mixer. Might call an audio input AI. USB. Plug my microphone in it. It goes into the computer, you can hear the nice microphone. So that's what I've got here, new, which is why I'm now going to be using it and checking. How come I can't find it from? It's fucking stupid. Come on then, am I not live? My battery exhausted? No, for some reason. Bit weird. Should be coming through on my phone. It's not. I want to use my phone for the chat, you see. I'm glad I'm doing a test stream. So I can't even check the sound because I'll tell you for why. Let me put my headphones in first. There we go. And it's not working. Connect streaming software. Oh no. Excellent connection. 1 minute 44. 1, 2, check Chuffy 1, 2. There we go. And it's not working. Connect streaming software. Oh no. Excellent connection. 1 minute 44. 1, 2, check Chuffy 1, 2. There we go. And it's not working. Connect streaming software. Oh no. Excellent connection. 1 minute 44. 1, 2, check Chuffy 1, 2. Tell you what it might be. I've got the noise reduction on. Filters. Just going to turn off the noise suppression completely. And then check. Filters, just going to turn off the noise suppression completely. And then check. 1, 2, check Chuffy 1, 2. Filters, just going to turn off the noise. It's really difficult to do a sound check. Because I can't hear it live in the headphones. If I do, it's on a delay and it gets in my head and it annoys me. So when I unmute it, you can hear the delay. Because I can't hear it live in the headphones. If I do, it's on a delay and it gets in my head. Definitely got a lot of hiss and whisper. You're picking up the fan on the laptop, which is quite noisy. So I've got noise. I mean, this microphone should be a good microphone as well. It shouldn't be a tinny, horrible mess, but it's sounding a bit tinny to me. I mean, this microphone should be a good microphone as well. It shouldn't be a tinny, horrible mess, but it's sounding a bit tinny to me. I mean, this microphone should be a good microphone as well. It shouldn't be. Okay, we've lost the tinny sound, now I've just got the hiss and the whisper. We will be playing Genshin Impact. This is... Hello Snips, I am live, it's working, okay. My issue is that, because I'm on the laptop and I'm still going to get another monitor, you know, things still to buy include mixer for the decks so that we can play on the decks in the system, second monitor, second set of lights. So I'm actually pleased I'm getting a second set of lights because I bought this first time round. And I don't know if it's in shot. And for everyone else who doesn't know what's going on, let me show you on OBS. If I just close that and show you on OBS the room. We're in a new room. It's an upstairs room. It's an attic room, and I'm tidying it up. That's why it's even more of a mess today because I've done some more tidying. Tidying it up. I found a photograph of myself when I was younger. You can have a look at. Found that. That's me. Doing the old upward facing selfie from underneath my face. I've got a lip piercing. Don't know if you can see that. It is a terrible photo. Anyway, that's what we're doing. We're setting up a new setup, second stream rig upstairs. So at the moment we're on crappy webcam. We've like yesterday we were on crappy microphone. Today we're on not new microphone, but existing microphone, new little sound desk. I'm not going to pick up the camera and move it to show you, but it's exactly the same sound desk as we bought for downstairs, but the smaller version for the portable setup. And it's good, and it works. It's good. I'm happy. So I know I've got the microphones coming in. Next is to improve the image quality, and like I said, these little lights, which are actually alright for my stream, these are alright, look, for illuminating me while I'm on stream, and I use a bigger floodlight for the room. They're okay, but I was going to use them for podcasty lights, and actually they need to be quite close. See how close they need to be to make a difference. If I put them over there, it's just useless. I mean, it's making a difference, but not enough of a difference to be like, say it's worth it. So I was thinking, when I got them, I thought, oh, well, they're not quite as powerful as I need them to be. You know, if I've got a guest and I have to put the light literally a metre away, less than a metre, 2 feet away, they're going to be like, why is this light in my face? You just want them to be a little bit further away and to be a little bit more powerful. So I was thinking of upgrading them, and that means that I can upgrade them now in good conscience, knowing that I've got a little portable set and maybe a bigger, more permanent set. That would be good, so I don't have to stress about it yet. I can still move the lights up and downstairs and use them as we go. The camera needs improving. I can see the camera needs improving, and I can't look at chat at the same. So now I'm going back to look at chat. Have you been placed in timeout, forced to move to the little room? We could still use the rig right now, but my sister's here today with her dog. My mum's downstairs. We watched the Queen's lying in state earlier. Because my mum's boyfriend's moving over, more and more it's going to be the case. And my sister is having work done on the house that she's at, Nan's old house. So more and more it's going to be that there's going to be more people downstairs, you know, communal living. And more me having the main big room at the front with people coming in. It's nice to get away from it all and come upstairs. That's one thing. The second thing is that I've got the DJ decks up here, and this is the musicy sort of space. I'm not going to be moving those downstairs. This was a bit of a storage room for all the other stuff, as you can see. So there's that. And when we got the laptop, we did say that it was good to have a second setup and, you know, roaming mobile setup, but it didn't really work because of the internet on the little hollybobs. It wasn't very good. But just the laptop in itself and a crappy microphone isn't a proper setup, is it? So I'm hoping that by using this room for not permanently, not like every day we're in this room from now on, but getting this room set up, you know what I'm saying, don't you? Getting this room set up, getting the system set up so it's all working with the slightly nicer bits and pieces means that when I do decide to travel with it again, it's all working a lot. It'll be like home away from home. And also, I just think it's good to have the 2 rigs. I think it's really useful for me. I think I got a different vibe in this room when I'm here. I think we're going to use this room, like I said, as the backup B-side room, as the busy, crowded house. Yeah, it will. I tell you, it's not right now exactly, but it will be. It will. And there'll be times when I'm streaming. I don't mind being in that room with other people, just a couple of rooms away, doing whatever. But there will be times where I feel like getting out of it a bit, coming up here. I can also smoke in this room. I'm not supposed to smoke in the room downstairs, as a rule, when anyone else is in the house. So sometimes you'll see me smoking in there when no one else is in the house, but as a rule, you know. Yeah, there's lots of reasons why it's a good thing to have this second space, and why I want to get this second space operational, and why that's become a little bit of a project for me this week. And I think it's a good time to do it as well. While the Queen, we didn't do words on Wednesday again. I've slackened off the YouTube stream a little bit, but what I've discovered recently is the Genshin Twitch thing. That's working nicely. The YouTube clips of the Genshin Twitch thing, that's working nicely. I've become a bit of a Genshin streamer. I'm not scared to sort of take some time to. What I'm saying is, there might be people that watch the YouTube daytime streams and think, where is he? He's been away for 2 weeks. Oh, fuck this, I'm not subscribing. I've seen a couple of subscribers leave. The numbers go up and down, don't they, sometimes? So I think maybe my consistency there is it's a shame I'm not so consistent right now, but all in good time. Also, I've noticed, I don't know. Yes, what I was saying was that because the Queen's dead and I don't feel like being joyful and rampant so much on stream out of respect during this period of national mourning. I did it as a bit of a joke wearing my tie, but I do mean it. I thought I'd take the time to get this all set up and working, to give us options. It's good to have. Am I going to pay my respects to the Queen? I'll take a chat in just a second. It's good. Yeah, it's not like I was gone. Yeah, I'm still there. It's all good. It's all good. I just think it's a good idea to have the flexibility of 2 fully working setups. And on top of that, if my sister ever wanted to play on the big computer and play Fortnite and I come up here and we play together, we could stream together. yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Plus, if my sister's house is going to be disturbed, she runs a makeup business. What she does is she's got clients, they come in like weddings and stuff like that, and they come in for makeup consultations. The way I used to use the downstairs room as a hair salon a little bit, she could use it as a makeup studio a little bit, but she can't use this room. That's difficult for her. So I've been told to my face, no, it's okay, I'm not going to need to use that room, but I'm predicting an October where all of a sudden someone needs to use the room, or do you know what I mean? Something. If I can just say, yeah, fine, I'm going upstairs. Like, that's good, isn't it? That's good. So, like, lots of reasons why I feel it's a good idea to get this second rig set up. And not only that, it's probably a good excuse. Like, this room needs a lick of paint. This room needs a new set of blinds. This room has been left to fester while we stored all boxes, and Nan died, and then we had her stuff, and Mum's boyfriend's been moving some of his stuff into our house. You know, it became like a clutter shop for all the boxes. I've cleared out a load of crap. I've got more crap. You know, I don't know if you know, but behind me it was tidier than it is today. More crap. And it gives us the advantage of the DJ deck, so there's reasons, okay? I'm happy with the concept, and it's a good time to do it, and I'm getting it all set, and it'll be good. I feel I've got a different vibe in this room a little bit. I feel like downstairs with my big computer and my nice camera and my, you know, proper rig, I do a proper stream where I'm like, okay, it's Genshin Impact, we're going to do the story mode, and I'm going to be, you know, alive and alert and, you know, entertaining. When we do YouTube streams in the daytime, you know, I've got a plan. Sometimes I do notes and whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like an episode, a show for the mainstream. And so we talked about the B-side. We were talking about, I think me and Cruel on chat as well on Twitch, we're talking about Asmongold has a B-side channel where it's just, sometimes you don't want to be on stream being a streamer, but you're playing a game, you've got your computer out. You know, I'd be happy, like, you see how it's just you and you and me. See how it's just you and me having a chat here now? Like, you like the vibe, don't fix the blinds. They look fucked. They're rubbish. They're all dirty. I can't be asked to clean them either because they're fucking pieces of shit. The more I clean them, the more bent and buckled they all get. So, but yeah, so this is like a chill vibe, different vibe room, isn't it? There's that as well. It's like my B-side stream. I might change the name of Battery Exhausted because of the discoverability on Twitch and you know, it might need to be called Ganji something, and it might need to because if you type in Battery Exhausted, you get a million videos about cameras, don't you? So, but all in good time. I'm thinking in October as well. We've got another month before this happens, but I might do a sort of Halloween theme October like people do. Not big. I don't want to be. I tell you what I don't want to do is make the streams unwatchable for the rest of the year round. Like when you watch an old stream and it's like clearly seasonal, and you think, well, this doesn't work now. You know, I like it to be a bit timeless. But for October, I might do the Gravekipper change. Might change the name to Gravekipper on all platforms because, you know, Halloween. And if it goes well, might stick with it. And if it doesn't, I could change it back. I don't want to be tarnished with the marijuana unsponsorable brush, but, you know, Ganji doesn't mean marijuana, it means cool in Korean. Anyway, look how cool I am with the decks and the guitar. And I am well, I don't know. Smoking's not cool, nor big, nor clever. The guitars, I have got a few. They're not even my good ones, these are the junk ones. My nice guitars are kept nice. I'll show you. I don't trip over the wire, Scotty. I'll tell you, this is a guitar and a half. See, this is my old guitar carry case. Messages to my girlfriend on it. I don't know if you can see all that on camera. Let me switch so I can see the camera. And in here, I was thinking about selling this because I don't really get the use out of it these days. But, you know, it is a bit of a peach. So, there's not many of them, I'm sure. There's not so many of these. This is a Fender Precision Jazz Light. Look at that. Oh, with the Limp Bizkit sticker, dating it. And it says dub there as well, which I stuck stickers on it. It's in beautiful cream, pearlescent cream. There is a couple of chips out the back here where I smashed it into my things. And I've lost one of the Fender knobs. And I think if you plug it in and try and work it, it could do with a rewire. I think, honestly, it probably doesn't sound like it used to plugged into an amp. I think I need to take the back off and give it to somebody who knows what they're doing and rewire it. But it's a really nice bass guitar, isn't it? Look, that's my sexy bass guitar. Don't know if it's even still in tune. It's still in tune. It's just been sat in a box and it's still in tune. Maybe that's not. Probably not actually, is it? Probably not still in tune. Or it might just be me playing it shit. But that's my lovely bass guitar there. So if you want to see a nice guitar, then we should put that on display, shouldn't we? We should put that there. It's a Fender Precision Bass Light, and light means it's got a jazz neck. So it's called Fender Precision Light. It's pretty nice. It's got a number on it and everything. So came out of the factory. It's got a number on it. It's a proper one. It's about £1,000 worth of guitar, I reckon. If you were to buy it now, probably, hopefully. I wouldn't let it go for less than 800, I'll tell you that. And this that I'm holding now is my old black bass guitar, or it's a very similar one. I might have got this at the tip, and it didn't work, and it's fucked. So I just took the strings off and painted it white, as you do. You know when people put furnishings in their house and they're like shabby chic and painted white with the chalk paint. I did that to it. So it's just a piece of rubbish now. And this is a Westone. This guitar was my sister's, but it got damaged. The neck needs gluing back down. This fretboard needs gluing down, and the nut at the top needs replacing. But it comes with some very specific metal parts, which I've saved all these years. That screw in at the top there, and it's got a special bridge, and you can wow 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 with the bridge. It's really nice, quite special. Like, quite interesting design, Westone Spectrum Series 2. My sister's guitar, that was. Needs repairing. So these are the shit ones that, the junk ones. And I've got this. This which counts. This counts. It does fucking count, mate. I've got 2 more downstairs, like 4 more guitars downstairs. This is a plastic guitar that I got from the tip. And it does play like a guitar. It's a little kid's plastic guitar. It's got a very thick neck for a kid, but it kind of plays like a real guitar, and it's got a automatic amp in it, so you can put batteries in it and it makes a proper noise. You plug the headphones in and a microphone into it, and you can sing. It's a kid's toy. But if it comes guitar shaped and it's at the local tip, then I'm taking it home. So there you've got one nice guitar that's about £800 worth of guitar. You've got one broken guitar which is probably fixable and worth about £500. So you nearly got £2,000 worth of guitar there if you polish them up and sell them to the right person. And then you've got 2 pieces of junk that don't matter for shit. God, all the dust from that's just gone in my... What's the local tip? So, I wanted to answer your question about the Queen, actually. My mum wanted to go to London, but I decided it's not such a good idea to stand in the queue for 8 hours. But if they have a local service, I will go to it. And on Monday for her funeral, we're going to have like a family... Not a party, but we're going to, like it was the World Cup final or something, we're going to watch we're going to watch it all together as a family, so make an event of it. So I do want to pay my respects to the Queen, but maybe not by travelling to London and walking past the coffin very quickly. Like, they're all walking past and they nod and they walk past, and I can see it on the fucking telly. So if I want to see it, I can see it on the telly. I've seen a lot of people using their phones to video the funeral procession as it goes past. That's daft. Well, you're going to get like a 30-second crappy video on your phone. Remember that forever. You'll remember it forever because it's on all the fucking telly. There'll be documentaries about it. You'll never have problems getting images of the funeral cortege for the Queen, will you? Better photographs than yours on your iPhone like that. You have professional photographers taking the news is filming it. You don't need to film it, the news is filming it. Just go there and look at it, and when you're watching a coffin come past, the correct procedure, I don't know if this is just speaking to I don't even know who I'm talking to here, just talking to you, so I'm not telling you, not moaning at you, but you probably know, but the correct procedure is to stand still, take off your hat, and look down, and have a moment of quiet reflection, maybe a prayer. You stand still, you take off your hat, and you look down. There are people watching the coffin come past, like, because there's a funeral procession, like, they're videoing it on their phones like that. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked that they've got no class or decorum, and they think that holding their phone out, because the other side, what it looks like, obviously the dead person don't see it because they're in the coffin, but you know, the drivers, what they're seeing is people like doing this as you're walking past, not hat off, head down, solemnity, but like these gawkers. Half the people have gone down there to gawk. I don't want to be part of that. I don't even look like I'm anywhere near part of that, so I'm not going down anywhere near it. I'm staying away, but we will be paying our respects. Yeah. A local tip, right? Yeah, it's history. It depends what the situation is. If you're at the pub and your mate is on the table singing a song, get your phone out and video it. Well, hey, you know, yeah, well, hey. But if there's a funeral, it doesn't matter whose funeral, the Queen's, the President's, doesn't matter. Like the lady from next door, when the funeral comes past, you don't get your phone out and video the coffin. It's disrespectful. I assume it's disrespectful. I don't know, because you know, we didn't have phones back in the old days when when decorum was invented. But honestly, come on, think about it. What are you supposed to do when the coffin goes past? And the other thing that I get like bugs me in my brain is the people that care so much that they've gone all the way down to walk past the Queen's coffin, to file past, spend 8 hours in a queue and do it. Good on them. What the fuck are they doing not wearing black? Why aren't they dressed in black? Like, it's obvious, it's a funeral thing. There's the coffin, you're mourning, black. It's appropriate. Like, some of them are in their I saw on the news that a woman went past in a green dress. Bright green. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? It's not a wedding. It's not you dress up, you're going to be on the telly. Like, wear black. There's a full coffin in the room with the flag draped on it, the dead person in the coffin. Wear black. Like, it just does my head in. People who don't, and like, when the coffin came past as well, when it arrived in Buckingham Palace, there was a ripple of applause. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, a ripple of applause, which was quickly muted because there's a lot of people in the audience who obviously understood how to behave and didn't applaud, and like, but a lot of people just copy the person next to them. So you'll see the people in the church walking past the Queen's coffin, they stand still and they nod and then they go on. That's because the first couple of people did that, and the people behind them didn't really know what to do, so they just copied it, and now everyone's doing it. Stand still, nod, and then move on. It's like they're just like lemmings, like sheep. They just don't follow. I don't know how many people were told you're supposed to nod. I don't know if that is appropriate either. I don't know if that is what you can do it. A lot of people are crossing themselves, say a little prayer, you know, curtsy, bow, absolutely. But for everyone to be doing it just makes it look like they're just, why are you doing that? Is that your decision, or did you just copy the person in front? So when the people started to applaud, some people applauded as well, like young people who don't know how to behave. And then it was muted out. The people next to them were like, oh, yeah, and it muted out. Because I don't know if you've ever seen a coffin come past. I don't know if you've ever been in the street when a funeral procession has come past. But the general consensus is that you stand still and remove your hat and solemnly stand in silence. You don't applaud the coffin. You know, that's not the moment to applaud. Oh, we want to celebrate her life. Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. But this is the moment where the coffin's coming past in the street. So you don't applaud. You don't blow your hooters. Woo, doo, doo, doo. I heard some people going, woo. Like, fuck off back home then. Like, if you want to go out and cheer and whoop, go to the pub or something. Like, what are you doing? Going to watch a funeral procession and blowing your hooters? Like, you're fucking not. People don't know how to behave. They've lost some sense of public behaviour. Like, maybe it wasn't explained to them. Maybe they don't understand etiquette. But, you know, it's easy to understand because you just. I don't know, man. I don't know. Getting me tetchy now. You get me tetchy. It's easy to understand because, like, you know, it's how it's done, man. It's how it's done. Yeah, you can feel appreciation for her, absolutely. I'll get to the tip comment in a minute as well. I think you can absolutely feel appreciation for her and show some appreciation. That's absolutely appropriate, but not while they're pulling her coffin past. That's not the time to do it, is it? It's like, can you imagine the dying relatives sat around the bedside and someone were to knock on the window and go, doo-doo-doo, well done, hey, good on you. Like, fucking hell. The people that are in that funeral procession are all upset because their loved one has died. Don't applaud. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's selfish, because you're so. I'm here. I want to be seen and heard, and I want to do something to show my appreciation. What you can do most of all to show your appreciation is stand solemnly and take your hat off. Some people went. One of the women I saw, one of the first women on the news, went through the fucking thing in a rugby shirt, right? Because she obviously wanted to show that she was from Wales, so she decided to wear her bright red rugby shirt to the funeral thing. Like, fucking hell. And then there was a woman in a fur hat, and I'm like, what? Like, just take it off. There's the coffin. Like, maybe it's because I'm a gentleman, I feel it in my bones to be one, but if you go past me in your coffin, you can be assured I will stand still, solemnly drape my head and take off my hat. And for the weeks around someone's death, if I'm going to be public, I'll be wearing the mourning black. And certainly for the Queen, I'm not doing it now because this is test stream and I'm in my shorts and my scruffies, but when I'm on my proper stream, I'm wearing the black tie. And half the people down there were like, it was like they're on fashion show, parade. Oh, have you seen me? I'm at the thing, taking my video of the coffin. Yay, get me on Instagram. Like, fuck off home. You shouldn't be there. That's not mourning. Oh, yeah. Anyway, and the tip, right? So I don't sound like such a posh bastard. What I do is I go down the local tip. And the local tip is, when people throw away their rubbish. Well, round our way, some of that rubbish ain't so rubbish, mate. Some of it's useful and good. So what the people do is, you've got big skips, like big trash recycling, and you go in there with your car and you open up your boot and you throw in all the rubbish into the trash recycling. And then there's another bit where there's like people that they used to be criminals. They've come out of prison and they're having to do community service and they work in this shop. Right, I've got a funny story about this. You'll love this story. So, funny story about this. So they work in the shop, and what they do is they take the rubbish that's not quite rubbish. Oh, you're throwing that chair out? That's a nice bike. And they put it in the shop. And they run a shop. It's a bin shop. It's a trash shop. It's other people's rubbish becomes somebody else's stuff. A trash shop. I still haven't got the fucking phone open to play Genshin Impact. Hang on. Am I on yet? On battery exhausted? Let's reload. Yes, I'm on. Okay, let's see if I can get this as my. That's me looking down. Hello, me. That's me. Yeah. Okay. So I've got chat on my phone because I want to not. I won't be able to see the screen when I open up Genshin Impact. It will just be Genshin Impact on my screen. So now I've got it on my phone as well. So it's a bin shop, yeah. But obviously some stuff is worth stuff and some stuff is useful. And you can, if you're a bit clever, you're like down there, like antiques hunting, aren't you? Like cash in the attic. Bargain hunt, Antiques Roadshow. You're looking for the good things. One of my mates used to get, he did all right on eBay. This is pre-COVID. I don't know what goes on now, but he used to go down there and get all the old board games, all the old Monopolies and things like that. And someone throws away their old Monopoly, but on eBay you can make a couple of bucks off of Monopoly. And so he just every week he'd go down and just take all the old board games, whack them all on eBay. It wasn't antiques hunting or nothing, but he was able to turn 50p a pound into £10 on eBay. So a lot of people were going down there for that. We've got a chair in the shed that's an 18th century chair, and I spotted it and I was like, that shouldn't be, £10 for that? Go on then. I've sanded it down. It just needs a lick of paint, another cushion. It's one of those projects that's ended up in the shed, but it's that sort of shop. You might get an old bike you want to tidy up. And all the good stuff, all the really good stuff, the accidental gold watches or diamond rings, they've gone through the hands of the criminals that used to be criminals that have come out of prison and are doing community service. So there's nothing really good in the shop because they've had that straight off, first dibs. So there's nothing really good, but you do get some finds, like a guitar. The guitar I made all my music on was a Westone guitar, £180 guitar, got it for a tenner. Somebody left it in the tip shop. Just polished it up, works lovely. £180 guitar, got it for a tenner. So yeah, there are some finds. Usually for me, I just buy all the musical instruments, and I just can't help it. I can't leave it there in the junk shop. I can't say, look, that's going to be left there in the bin shop. It's a lovely guitar, I'm taking it home. I walked a lamp out. There was a lady cleaning your house. What's going on? It's her lamp now. You're going to put the lamp out by the bin. Yeah, it's like that sort of shop. It's that sort of shop. And I tell you what, round our way, any electronicals or metals you put out, the gypsies, you think it's gypsies that come and take them for scrap metal, and you think, well, you know, it's traditional, the gypsies take them, but actually it's run by Albanian gangsters, and all the scrap metal in our country is run by an Albanian mafia now. I'll have you know. So I saw it on the news, saw it on the old panorama. They get people over from other countries, and they force them to work the scrap metal collection route, because if you get a receipt at the end that says scrap metal collected this week, that's proof that you were working. That's your, you know, week's working collection. I've been working. So then you can sign on to the benefits. And the people that run the mafia, they take all the money off you and they make you do the work. And then after about 4 years of doing that, you've sent a bit of money home and they let you go free or some shit. I don't know, but it used to be something that, like, a certain culture, gypsies were traditionally known for scrapping and going around picking up all the scrap, and now it's more of a mafia thing. But so anything you leave out, like a lamp or anything like that, will get whooped up quite quick by someone going around in a van. And the local people don't give a shit, because people at that end of the scale, they don't care about, you know, they don't see into their lives, they don't think about, you know, someone came around and picked up my lamp in a van, you know, so what? I'm glad it got took away, frankly. It saves me a job. And they don't think, I hope they're living and eating okay, because, you know, picking up lamps off the street can't pay well. How are you paying for that petrol money? What's that money in that van telling you to do? But that's how it works anyway, yeah. So the tip shop is a joy. I should go down there more often. We live in a nice area. So around my way, a charity shop where you get clothes, like a thrift store, they're really good. You get Versace's and Armani's and all sorts. Like, and the charity shop, bin shop, tip shop, people throw away nice things. So the nicer your area, and this is quite, you know, Shakespeare's birthplace down the road, Warwick's is quite a nice area. You know, the nicer your area, the nicer your thrift store. So quite lucky in that aspect. Right, now I've got the chat on the phone, and that's guaranteed. And we've been chatting. I've shown you the room again. Let's have a look at Genshin Impact. And let's see if playing Genshin Impact will work for me. So I'm going to go full screen Genshin. I'm going to press start game. This is the test. This is the test. I'm still not happy with everything in camera placement, obviously. I don't like looking down here and you being, I want you just about there. But no little tripod. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get everything. Little test. Today's another step forward. And I'll tell you what else I did today as well. I got another one of those big long cables, and I ran it out through the back of the house, around the front of the house, into the window. So the front room that we use as a normal, you know, the big rig room, has now got a permanent connection to the wall with the internet. It doesn't have to run through the house and plug it in and unplug it every time you're on. It's there permanent, so that's big. But I closed the window on it. I did sort of break the wire a little bit and have to tape it up, and I was like, fuck, I've just bought that. But, you know, as long as the gaffer tape holds for the next 10 years, it'll be fine. Here I get it out, so I'm putting stuff out and people pick it up, they drive it down to Mexico and sell it. There is a bit of that, you know, the tip shop that I'm talking about, the idea of it is a charity shop. So you pay money and the money goes to the hospice. When I'm down with that, I love helping that hospice. When I was a hairdresser, I used to do, like...
You always have to seize the opportunity
like you talking.
while it's there.
When I was a hairdresser, I used to do things like, we did a fashion show for them, like, you know, like, us hairdressers turned up at their fashion show, did all their hair, and didn't charge them any money, of course, right? You know, if they had something that was on at the hospice, I'd volunteer. I think I did a lady's hair that was working there, and I'd just volunteer us all the time. We did a couple of charity collections in the, we did one at Christmas, I think. Pretty sure we did. You know, can't remember everything these days, and someone might say, oh, you didn't collect money at charity at Christmas, or maybe I didn't, but a couple of times in the year I made sure to do something for that hospice, and was very proud to be helping them. It's just down the road from me, and you know what a hospice is, obviously, don't you? So, yeah, to be able to help in any way is good. So that shop is the hospice tip shop. So if I'm buying from there, I'm giving money to the hospice. So I think that's good. And I think a lot of people, that's what I was going to say, a lot of people see it as like a business opportunity where they go in there and they're like, oh, I could get this and sell it on eBay. I get, you know, because there's a lot of that these days, isn't there? So I think that's good as well, because the hospice is constantly turning over product in that shop. But it kind of annoys me that, like, I've done it once or twice actually myself, like that chair in the back there. When I sell it, I should give a cut to the hospice, shouldn't I, really? Because all the profit, although it's my labour that's gone into it, Right, they're selling that chair cheap, Bobs. I've benefited off the hospice's charity, so maybe I should. I always think that if we're going to sell something on eBay we put a few things listed that haven't sold. We sold a couple of bits and pieces for a tenner of like an old pair of binoculars or something. So I just think that we should give a bit back to the hospice every time we do. But back when I was doing it more often, it was like in between hairdressing and now, and I needed a little bit of extra cash here and there, and I needed to be able to buy things that were a little bit cheaper. So it was actually really a good thing to be able to go down there. But you find yourself spending a little bit extra on I came down here for throwing stuff away is the main thing, getting rid of some crap, and maybe picking up a little bargain. And instead, I bought another guitar, and I don't need another guitar. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up spending more money in the end. But good system. How's the sound for you? Is this you need to tell me, because I can only hear it in my headphones. It sounds alright, but I can't hear myself talking. But am I talking alright? Loudness, game sound, nothing too loud. If anything's ever a problem, tell me, because we're messing with settings. Hopefully I'm not out of sync. Working on the Windows. Hopefully it's not out of sync. And all I'm going to do here now is I'm just going to run through my daily commissions. I'm going to do a very simple, no story mode or anything. The sister's downstairs and she's ordered me a vegan Chinese meal, so I'll be interested to see what comes in that when it arrives. Sounds good. I'm really lucky that over the years, it's talking about collecting up crap. I bought a number of different microphones, and whilst I didn't end up, what am I supposed to be doing here? Whilst I didn't end up, I bought them for music production, for being in a band. Over the years, same with the guitars. I'm not using the guitars on stream, am I? But I'm using the microphone right now that I bought, and I ended up using it for sound recording for ASMR as well. So I'm really lucky that some of the items that I decided to, I don't want to say invest in, because it's a frivolous expense. It was a hobby, but I've turned them into items that are working for me now. My friend with the camera work, he turned his camera into a full business, like a media production business. And like I always said, with my camera, I need to make it pay for itself, and I don't think I ever did really. Like, it was quite expensive. I mean, maybe I got £1,000 worth of goodness out of it, through the ASMR and everything. But I never got £1,000 out of the ASMR, and it was more than £1,000 that camera. So
Don't blink.
oh, escort it safely. Wait, don't kill it. Escort it safely. Right then, easy life. It's going over there. So where's it going? No. Where are you going? Don't go up there. It's not safe up here. Oh shit. Humpy Dumpty pal. No, I want to kill the... I bounced myself over the barrier anyway, that was good. Just do the barrier in and then it will get moving. Don't have to worry about the hilly churls. She's dead.
No, I didn't.
So that's fucked. How did she get killed? A bit soft. She's dead. Oh, you bad chuffers. Stop throwing things at my...
Speed of light.
Oh, I've put myself over there. I'm playing like a shit. Right, you're frozen so you can't do any damage. Come on, stuffy thing. Transport balloon. I don't even want to bother killing them. I just want the transport balloon to hurry up. Come on, transport balloon. Where's it going now? It's going the wrong way again. Of course we're going to get blown up if you go over there. Transport balloon.
Faster.
Look, stop throwing things at my transport balloon, you dickhead. Transport balloon. Hurry it up, move it. I'm hitting it now, I'm making it worse. Oh, we've got a long way to go, we're going to die. I've never failed a transport balloon before, but I usually go on the principle that I don't bother with those chuffers. I just let the balloon go. Like, the faster the balloon goes, the better. So if I destroy the barriers, it's going to go through quick. That's my stratagem. But with no clee, I'm not a barrier destroyer.
Sacred name. Fortune preserver.
Just a little barrier
Wheel of
patter.
life.
Now I'm getting attacked.
Nowhere to hide.
See, look, my barrier's not going anywhere. Kill the barrier, kill the barrier. Right, it's gone. That's good. So the mage can have a pop. They can all have a pop, but as long as the transport balloon just hurries it up to get over there, we're alright. I don't care if it's having... I care if you're having a pop, you little chuffer. I'm not having you having a pop. Freeze you up. Freeze him up. Right, just run. Run. Leg it. That mage is tired. Are you tired? Look, that little mage is tired. Oh, he's back up. Right, leg it. They'll all disappear when it hits there, look. Boom, they're gone. See, look, they've all just disappeared. So you didn't have to kill them after all. Good, I'm glad I did it that way.
Okay, faster.
My sister's so nice, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did offer to give her all of my money today for the renovation of the house that she's living in, but yeah, she's bought me a Chinese meal. No, I'm only joking. Like, she is nice. I do appreciate her, and she's not going to take all of my money for the renovation. That's been poo-pooed.
Faster?
So,
Okay, faster.
but I did think, like, you know, I saves. I'm brutally honest all the
Faster?
time. A lot,
Okay,
you know.
faster.
I'm trying to talk to you and you're up there. A lot of the tippies and stuff. Like, I say I spend them on food and stuff, but I'm really not. I'm really just saving them up in the bank as much as possible. Like, if I don't have to spend money on stuff, I'm not going to try to. I'm not trying to increase my, I'm not going. What I'm saying is, now there's a bit more money in the bank, I'm not off eating at restaurants, luxury dining, and I'm saving that. And so the issue that I've got is with the inflation rate in the UK. It's a bit boring and a bit grown up. Someday I can buy her a house, maybe someday, well, she's got, like, I'm not going to go into all that, but my granddad used to say that one day I'd turn up in a Ferrari and drive him down to the beach, and like, obviously he died of motor neuron disease, ALS, so that's not happened. Nor would I ever be able to afford it. Even if I could, I probably wouldn't want to choose to buy a Ferrari, but one day a little red car trip down to a beach would be nice. Yeah, anyway, my point was, I'm in the unfortunate situation in the UK where we've got a 14% inflation rate. So if I've got £1,000 in the bank, at the end of next year, I've got 14% less. Which, forgive my shitty maths, is about It's about £140. It's a lot of money. Like, every year I'm losing £140 per thousand. I'm losing 14%, yeah? Is that right? £100, 14% would be £14. £1,000, £140, yeah. So every week, I think that's right. Let me check. Let me see if this works, because it didn't work earlier. When I went out of Genshin Impact and into a different window, I had to restart everything. Let's see if it works. Because sometimes Windows is like, oh, you've plugged in something new? Yeah, fuck you, mate. Don't think so. And then you turn it all off and on again. It's like, oh, I like your new thing. You're like, you didn't like it earlier. When I plugged it in earlier, you were like, fuck you, I don't like that. Disgusting, get it out of here. And now I've turned you off and on again. You're like, oh, what's that? I like that. Hello, new. So that happened today with the sound. None of the sound worked, and then it did. I'm going to search for UK inflation rate. It falls to 9.9% after a drop in petrol prices recently. So it's just dipped below 10%. So we're saying it's at 10%. So every year, £100 becomes 90. And then the next year, it's even less because so I've got money in the bank now, right? And my interest rate is about 2.5%. So you factor that in, and I'm losing about, like, every year, like, by the end of this year, all the money I've saved, and I'm really thankful and gracious, and I'm putting it together with all the money else that I've saved all over the years, and I'm trying to be responsible. Like, I could be in a position to be losing more money than I'm making by saving it. Does that make sense? Like, that's fucking stupid, isn't it? What am I doing putting it in a bank and trying to save it if I'm losing 8%? Like, this is the problem, that rich people don't have this problem, like, because really rich people have got their money in, like, bonds and stocks and shit, and you know what I mean, or like property. So they're not losing money, they're making it. That's going up. Like the Boris Johnson crew, they're going, or sensible Middle England or whatever, like normal people, that's going up. But for me, with some money in the bank that I'm saving, maybe using some to help push this forward, but trying to keep, like, every time we clear another, say, 1,000, I like to say, I'm not going to touch that now, that's going to stay there, and I'm going to earn another bit to spend. And then after that, when it saves up every sort of line drawn, I like to say, don't go back beyond that, don't fall back. And are we worried? I mean, I don't know, like, I know about economics, so I understand economics, but the problem is that for me to worry about it, I've lived through 3-4 recessions. Let's say I lived through Black Wednesday when I was really young. People were jumping off buildings. It was like the American, depression. People jumped out of windows in the UK stock markets on Black Wednesday. We tied our currency to the European exchange rate mechanism, and the minute we did it, like on day one of trading, everything just went down the shitter. And like, we had to, by the end of the day, we had to fucking come out of it, and that went bad as well. So like, everyone lost everything, and like, it was one of them. So I've lived through these. I've lived through the credit crunch. Obviously, I've lived through COVID, I don't count COVID as a recession and depression, but other people seem to. Brexit has been a big effect. Like, we're suffering because of Brexit, and then our government's failure. 10 years ago, they promised us nuclear generated power built in our country, green energy. And 10 years have gone by, and now, oh, Russia have done their gas line, so we're fucked. And I'm like, what about the North Sea oil? Oh, we sell that. And what about the nuclear power plants and the wind energy you're building? Oh, we haven't done that. So, but also, fuck you. So yeah, anyway, the point is, rich people, or people with more money than me, you want to put that money out. You don't want it in a bank account. You want to put it somewhere. So being worried about the economy. If you've got a house, if you've got a thing, haven't you? The bank account goes shit, then your money goes shit. But if you've got a house, you've got a house. Like, when things recover, you can sell it for the original rate or whatever. And I do think that our economy is based on boom-bust cycles. So if we're in a capitalist Western economy, we will have recessions. It's part of the Keynesian monetary economic cycle. So the people who know what's going on at the top, they use the busts. You buy the dip, essentially, and then when things rise again, you make more money again. So people at, like, Nadim Zahawi, former Chancellor of the Exchequer, he'll be buying properties now while people are losing their houses. Like, while normal people can't afford to keep paying their mortgages, interest rates, look at this, inflation rates at 10%, so mortgage rates UK, and I probably won't just get the standard variable mortgage rate is 3.7%. So, like, we're talking about borrowing money here at like 3.7%, 5%, 6%. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think it's better than losing 8% in the bank, isn't it? Like, so I think what happens is, during these times, and what I was coming on to say is, if I was able to put my money in something more economically sensible during this time, then I'd actually I'm not looking to make money. I'm not saying I need to make money with my money, like some people are desperate to do, although it's sensible to do it. But what I'm saying is, I want the security of it not going down. What's the point in saving it if they're going to take 140 and just throw it up in the air and say that's fucked every year off 1,000? Let's say I have 10,000 in the bank. Then I'm spending £1,400 a year just to throw it up in the air because the government have fucked the economy. Like, at the same time, the people in the government and with all the properties and the portfolios, that's making the money. So I need to. You're getting offers to buy your house every day. It's not. Yeah, exactly. Buy the dip. Like, and those offers might be coming from individuals, or they might be coming from bigger portfolio people who, I don't know, but it's a strange time, so I want some security. So yeah, my principle would be take the money out of the bank and put it into something that's more secure. Like, that's why I was today to give it to my sister, because if she spends it on the house, hopefully it will come back in, improvement money. Do you know what I mean? But for me at the moment, it's a bit of a worry. It is not that the economy's going to go shit and I'm going to lose all my money. I know things are going to be tough. They always are. They're intended to be in this economic system. So that's the system. But and it's the more poor people that suffer, so the rich can get richer. That's the system. But for me, I'm in a precarious position where, like, I haven't got really enough money to do any sort. I can't buy a house, but I can't secure that money in another way. Like, so I can't save it. The bank won't give me if I put it in the bank now. If I put like UK savings rates. Look, 1.85% or up to 3.65%. Oh, you can get up to, so you can mitigate against that 10% inflation with like 3.6%. Brilliant. And then the benefit of it being in a savings account is if anything happens, you can't get it out. Like, it's just a fucked system, isn't it? So normal people can't work the system now. Normal people like me, we're very limited on our options on how to secure that. I'm not saying again, it's not like I'm trying to buy government gilt bonds, because whilst the government borrows, where does that money come from? Well, it comes from our tax money in the future. What they do is they borrow the money off, the International Monetary Fund, whatever, this government borrowing, they print the money, whatever they do, and then when they want to pay it back, you issue gilts and bonds, and those bonds have interest on them, and the government pays the interest. So I could buy bonds. In fact, maybe that's the best thing for me to do. Out of everything I've said there, knowing what I know about economics, government bonds, I wonder what the rates are on the bonds. But this is like, yeah, normal people don't try and buy government bonds in the shops, do they? Because you can't buy them in the shops. You have to buy them through a like legitimate. Maybe you can get them on the internet these days, but back in the day, you'd have to have an accountant. And do you know what I mean? I'm not at that stage either. But government bonds are pretty safe. There's rates. UK. And there's going to be loads of adverts, but I just want to know the rates. So it's got a 3.2% yield, 10 years. Central bank rate is 1%. But see, even that shit, isn't it? A 3% yield over 10 years. You know, knowing that the inflation rate is at 10%, 10-year bond. But in principle, you know, buying these government debts off the government and knowing that they're going to use the taxpayer money to pay you back with interest, that's the best thing for you to do with your money, isn't it? Like, you're getting in at their level. You get, well, not at their level, but you're getting in with their system. And that's how, you know, the government borrows all this money whenever they want and filters it out to their mates and their contracts, and then we end up paying for it, don't we? But at least in the future, my taxes will be going back into my pocket through a government bond. Right? That's a way of a standard person on the street getting involved in that government tax, money borrowing system. I think gilts are slightly different. Let me get an actual definition of gilts versus bonds. When you buy a bond, you're lending a company or government money. You're lending them the money. You're buying the debt off them. Yeah. Well, in return, you receive interest, and the issuer promises to pay back the loan on a specific date. Gilts are UK government bonds, right? So they're just the same thing, which are issued to help finance public spending. See? So I do know my shit. I did do an economics degree. But the average person on the street doesn't work with Hargreaves and Landau. But this is the... If you want to get in on it, like normally, if it wasn't such exceptional circumstances, that would be the way to do it. You're buying the government debt, and you're going to get paid back, guaranteed by the government, when they borrow more money off the taxpayer in the future to service the bonds. But you're in the red then, aren't you? Sorry, the black. You're in the good bit. You're in the, you're getting paid at the end of the recession. The more they borrow, the more they issue more of these bonds, and the more you're like, yes, I'll buy more, I'll get paid more, thank you. With the interest, I'll take some more bonds. At that rate, you need to spend quite a lot of money, but it's a guaranteed return. It's not like risky. Like in theory, it's supposed to be guaranteed. The only other thing you could suggest is buy gold. And with my family connection to the jewellery quarter in Birmingham, like, we have these conversations a lot. It's not just buy gold though. People just say buy gold, and it's not just gold, because gold comes. And look at the dip in the gold there. Look at that. Is that today, or is that like over time, or what's going on? So I don't know about these markets. I don't follow them. So volatile markets are not necessarily the best place to go, are they? And gold is not supposed to be volatile, but it looks pretty fucking volatile at the moment. Look. Can you not see that? I've not got it on the screen, have I? I apologise. Just 1 second, because I'm using my brain on a new computer now, and upstairs, downstairs, Firefox. So gold is fucked. Look, gold's a mess. But what I was just talking about, I'll just quickly show you, is... Oh no. I only typed in bonds and gilts, so it doesn't matter. I've just read it out to you, didn't I? But gold, yeah. What were you saying there? What I'm saying is I should sell my GameStop in it. Yeah, sell your... Maybe hold the GameStop now. Maybe it's a bit late to sell. But look, the theory about gold is that there's so few... The theory about gold is... Economics is the social study of scarce resources, right? So the reason that we have economics is if we had one for everyone, or two for everyone, or enough for everyone, in theory, you wouldn't have to have economics, because you wouldn't have to buy or sell anything. You just got enough, right? But you don't have enough, so you're trading what you have a bit of a surplus in, or a competitive advantage at making in, and you're trading it with someone else for what you need. So you have this interconnected economy, and that's how we work, yeah? There's a fallacy in that in the 1800s we didn't have enough, right? But now we've got so much more modern technique and technology. You can 3D print stuff. You don't have to go on Amazon and buy it. You could go on the internet and ask it to be you could have a microwave that just churns out your products, couldn't you? And some people do. Some people are 3D printing their own stuff now. Normalising the means of production and bringing the cost down, what our economic system should be about. But it seems that over the years, instead of costs coming down, they started to creep up, which is fucking weird, isn't it? It's not right. Things should be getting cheaper and cheaper. We should be having more and more abundance in our economic system, but it's failing us. So just going back, I'm going on a bit of political there, but going back to this thing about gold, the idea is with scarce resources, there are fluctuations in price, there are markets, and there are different reasons. There's price elasticity, there's supply and demand, but the most important thing is that it's about the scarcity of the resource, and that's why everyone's suffering now with these oil prices going up. Because Vladimir Putin switched off the gas supply, didn't he? So all our prices have gone up in Europe because Vladimir Putin switched off the gas supply because of the war. It's a difficult conversation to have when we know there's an OPEC consortium of oil-producing countries that have come together to set the oil barrel by amount that they're going to produce, and therefore the price of each barrel. They come together to set that year on year. So, and we've got North Sea oil in the UK, and somehow, with our own ready supply of gas and oil, we're somehow dependent on Russia. Anyway. It's fucked, isn't it? But the scarcity of the resource dictates the price, doesn't it? Well, the thing about gold is it's not supposed to be fluctuating. We know pretty much how much gold's there. Like, we know even where it is underground. Like, you watch that Gold Rush program when they're digging it up. You know, they've got an idea of how much they're expecting to dig up. They know where it is in general principle. We've done the seismography. Like, there's no more gold being produced. We're not getting any more asteroids landing on the planet, smashing into us full of gold. So the rate that it's being produced, the amount and rate there is in the ground, the amount of money it costs to produce it, gold is one of the most stable of stocks or shares or resources in terms of trading. It's valuable. Everyone agrees that it's valuable because it's obviously based on value. This isn't it? If everyone turned around tomorrow and said, "Oh, it turns out gold's rubbish. I don't like gold anymore," then the price goes down. If no one wants it. Disgusting gold. Suddenly tomorrow gold starts smelling like dead bodies. Just it's magic, it happens overnight. Gold smells like dead bodies. Suddenly people don't want gold wedding rings and they don't value it in the same way. Its price will go down, but it's not going to happen. Gold is going to be gold, and it's things like that you see as blue chip, and it's a different terminology because in America you've got like this idea about a company that's so big it won't fail, or you enter into this top echelon of a number of companies making a certain amount of money and you become so stable and so big you can't fail, blue chip stock. But the gold price is supposed to be so stable. Here I am looking at it, volatile dip, but it's supposed to be so stable that that's the best investment in terms of security, because it's going to go up, and it's going to go up by a reasonable rate. It's not going to make you rich, but you're not going to lose your money. And if you just consistently buy gold over the years, you will make your money. But it seems here that that's not quite right. So that's a day, though. That's only a day. Let's have a look at, say, 10 years of gold. Again, we've seen a big dip there, which is a surprise to me. I don't keep up with these stocks and shares. 30 years of gold, it goes up. That's what we're supposed to be looking at. A consistent upward trend with gold. And although maybe that peak there is a bit of a bubble, if you draw a straight line from down to up, it's gone up, hasn't it, over the last 30 years? All data, gold goes up. Maybe it's going up a bit exponentially in the late 2000s. I'll tell you what happened there is, just off the top of my head, I'm not a gold analyst, but in the late 2000s, let's say 10 years here, we'd have seen a dip in the price, 20 years, sorry. This peak here, 2007 to 2011, a peak here. It must be a recession, and people wanted to buy more gold because it's the safer thing. And then as the recession eased, the price of gold dipped because people start selling it again and taking their money and buying other stuff. But it never really dips. You see how it's consistent? It looks like it dipped, but it's maintained, and then it went up again, and it will dip and maintain, and then it'll go up again, and it'll dip and it'll go up. That, in theory, in sensible economic theory, a straight line from first to end and continue the trend, that's gold. But so if you've got big money, you can make a reason. Like if I had £1 million and put it on gold, then every year I could take the profit and live off it. For £1 million, it might not be loads of money. It might only be like percentage. But with a big amount, it's enough to do you. But with smaller, if I put 10 grand on gold, then I will make something. But it's not a fast enough return for somebody who's doing an investment to try and increase their wealth to say, oh, well, that's a great investment because it's a smaller return. But it is consistent. It is consistent. It's down. You just check the bit I have and it's down. But over the time, it's going to be it's probably down at the moment because of the fucking volatility of the global markets, and uncertainty is another factor in economics. Is that when people are uncertain, markets reflect that by people taking their money and putting it in wherever they feel is most, secure. And when there's uncertainty, like interest rates and exchange rates are currently quite volatile as well. So you can take that money out of gold and you can make money on day currency trading, because like the other day our pound dropped to record low. Do you know what I mean? Day traders are going to be making a lot of money on day trades between smaller fluctuations in more volatile things. But when things stabilise and when things are more certain, when there's a lot more confidence, people will go back to those more secure mechanisms, because there'll be less fluctuation in the day trading and there's a lot more confidence in the market itself. I think the gold dip is a reflection of a lack of confidence in the market in general. Like you said to me, are you worried? Well, people obviously are, because they're so worried they're not even buying gold. But also, you might find there's a lot of people at the moment who have financial issues. Like if you've got a bit of gold, if I bought, like let's say today I buy 10 grand of gold and all my money's gone out of the bank, and then next year I'm like, fuck, I'm struggling, I'm going to sell my gold, yeah? So that's probably the first asset that people think, I need a bit of extra money, the economy's a bit fucked, like maybe through COVID as well. Maybe in COVID people said, I'd rather not hold on to this gold because I might be dead tomorrow and I need a bit of extra money right now because we're not going to work. So maybe there was a more general consensus of, not consensus is the wrong word, I said it too many times yesterday, maybe there was a more general feeling of like, it's funny because laissez-faire economics and extra spending has led to inflation. So, but maybe there was more of a feeling of spend now, save, save when you, what's the point, because you might be dead of COVID. I don't know. Or maybe people older, this is another factor. You have to, when you talk about economics as well, right, when you're talking this economics, I just want to put Keynes. A lot of people think of Keynes and Keynesian economics as the economic theory, like that's it. And it is, in a way. That's what you're going to learn at university. Tiny picture. Do you know what I think about tiny pictures? Tools, size, large. Give me a large. I'll have a large. No, I won't. That's not a large. There's a recession on. I'm not having a large. I'll have a medium, thanks. Keynes basically wrote the book about economics, supply, demand, price elasticity of demand, all this, everything I've talked about just now, Keynesian. You tinker with the interest rates, because if you increase the interest rates, then you get more money from saving your money in the bank. People are less likely to spend their money, they're more likely to put it in the bank. And if they spend too much money all at once, it pushes the inflation rate up, because too much demand, not enough supply, puts prices up. Like there's these ideas, and they intertwine and they interweave, and they used to work because our economics used to be a bit more simple, maybe before we became a bit more global. And what I actually believe today, I think these are really important ideas, and you have to understand them in order to understand the market in a wide pull-out perspective. But actually what I think happens today is there's a lot more psychosocial human factors that play into it. So like we said about the price for gold, if you're writing an economics essay, and this is my problem when I went to university, is that I didn't want to just write an economics essay on the dry, bare-bone facts of financial issues. I had all these other ideas and feelings, and I was exploring them in so-called sociology or psychology lessons, or social psychology lessons or whatever. And then I stopped going altogether because I thought, fuck this. But the economics is so dry and lacking humanity. So when we said about this gold, you would have an economic explanation for why gold would fluctuate or dip or whatever. But then you could say during COVID, people might have spent, that's not an economic reason. That's a human reason why people might have decided to get rid of it. There's another reason I was going to come to, which is that it might have been an older generation saw the imagine someone who's 70 years old and you ask them, where's your money invested? They're not going to tell you Bitcoin. They might do, mightn't they? They're not likely to tell you Bitcoin. They've got these other ideas, these more traditional ideas, property or gold or stocks and shares. A lot of them that wanted that security might have chosen to invest some money in gold. Like you yourself there, you're talking about gold in chat, and I'm talking about it now. And I guess we're a bit more grown up than but if you're like 80 or 90 and you've got that you've done that, and then you die. And bear in mind, a lot of people died in COVID that were in that bracket because they were the vulnerable people that in the main got affected by it. So those now you imagine that it's a unique event, isn't it, COVID, for that many people to sort of die in such a close time. And you imagine the amount of inheritance that got passed over and things like that. I imagine some younger people might take that gold and say, right, we're selling Nana's gold stocks and I'm going to buy some Bitcoin, or I'm going to buy a fucking Ferrari, or whatever they do. So I think that might play into it as well. You've got these other juggling balls up in the air. So the gold has dipped, yeah. We've been living through some quite unique times. And I was surprised to see it, because I would say, in my position, that would be a very sensible, secure option. However, at 10% inflation, thank you Keynes, thank you Boris Johnson, at 10% inflation, I need to find something that yields more than 10% yield. I need more than 10% yield finance. Here's how to get 10% dividend without the risk. I'll click on that, that'll help. Everyone's going to tell me how to make free money on the internet, aren't they? But where are we actually? It's not that easy. They're talking about bonds. There's a lot of bond rates coming up. You might be able to get better rates on your bonds if you're spending a lot of money in the bond shop. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. I only know as much as I know. I know what they teach you in university standard economic education, but I don't know what it's like to go and trade bonds. So it's not low risk, you see. They're saying they're low risk investments. I think higher yield increases, you have a sort of yield versus risk. The higher the risk, the higher the potential yield. But where are you going to get more than 10% in a year? It's tough. And that's what's happening to us. That's why we're getting, I'm quite cross about what they've done to us there. Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson, like the Tories, because Nigel Farage is a Tory. I'm quite cross about what these people have done to us for their own ends. I'm quite cross about that. They've fucked up our lives to make themselves a bit more money and to cause all this. And people will say, oh, well, what about COVID and the Ukraine war? But I'll remind you that we should have nuclear power built by the Tory government over the last 10 years. So we shouldn't have to, if he wants to switch his Russian gas off, he can just switch the fucker off. I'm like, we should be fine. We've got North Sea oil. Why isn't that nationalised? Why are we producing gas and oil in our country and the people in the country don't benefit from that? Why are we importing ours from Russia? Stupid. Oh, we can only get 50% of our gas and oil from the North Sea. Oh, can we? Why? Where's the other 50% going? It's just stupid. It's stupid. So, it's criminal. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, criminal. I never worry about right now. I can always work. I just want my money to be there when I'm old. Nothing feels safe. Not total security. Not my pension or my retirement. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and that's what they want, though, isn't it? That's like these governments that are, the people that are getting through the government system in order to steal. They're stealing from the future, from the people's future, and like that fear. Like they talk about Operation Fear during COVID, like they were there to scare us with COVID, and that was going to scare us, and we're going to. Like, that's stupid. COVID was real, but Operation Fear is making you poor so that you're uncertain about your future. Like Operation Fear is making it difficult for you to invest in your future. So yeah, I think maybe from what I've learned over the years, and I'm not an expert. Again, this is not financial advice, but maybe property is just the most I don't see many people's houses ending up worth nothing. Like, even if they lose the house through the mortgage and all that business, the bank takes it and then they sell it, and it's worth. Properties generally, and property might be different in America, but property in a good area, in a nice, somewhere that's always going to be like, because in America you've got places that died off, like Chicago and Detroit, that were motive towns, and then industry changed. But I'm talking about, if I can get a flat in London, that's never. And who's got them? All the Arabs, all the Russians, all the Boris Johnson's mates. And that's why they're all so expensive. I don't know. But yeah, maybe property's the way to go. Property, gold and diamonds. I don't know. you can't. The other issue with finance is that you can't. You want to, as a normal person, you want to be able to access your money at times. You know, if Nan gets sick, we needed to buy that big chair, or like whatever it is. You sometimes need a bit of a buffer zone with your money, and so if you're in the top echelon, your money that's working for you is creating that money that you spend. But if you're not, if you're not in that echelon, then you put it in a savings account, or you buy a house with it, and like you might even have a mortgage on your house. It's another bill, or you might have a situation where you say, "Oh, I can't get the money out. How am I going to leverage this money? I've got money tied up in the house or whatever, and I need to spend some." So then you end up taking this like loan against your mortgage or a loan against your property with an extortionate interest rate. One of my mates bought a car the other day, and he got it on the internet, and they, you know, the extra bit of money, they did him a loan, and I was surprised that like because his missus is quite switched on with this sort of shit. Like it was quite a bad rate on the loan, but you know, it's these sort of things where you need a bit of access to money, and you've done the sensible thing and you've put it into something secure, and then you can't access it. So maybe with property, Airbnb or something like that, you know, being able to rent it out and get something out of it as a, you know, investor that also is trying to generate some sort of living income. And like I said, I think it's deplorable that in today's day and age where we should have 3D printing, mass production, like the whole point of mass production was a car was more expensive, was really expensive to make. So Henry Ford said, look, I'm not having this car's taking us ages to make, all these craftsmen making it, why don't we have it move along, right? And what I'm doing is I'm putting the chassis down, right, and now it's on a little train track and it's moving through the factory, and you're just going to do the wheels, and you're just going to do this, and you're just going to do the engine. I want you to put the windscreens on, and when it comes out the end, it's a complete car, and that line ain't going to stop moving, so you better get to work. And like, he invented the production line and the idea of this mass production line, and that reduced the cost of production, so now the car can produce cheaper, and that's why we don't have electric cars, because in competition, whoever can produce cheaper items that are comparable value and use to the consumer will sell more. So Henry Ford was able to dominate his competition and sell more cars. So the Ford became the big car, the petrol engine became the big engine, through an economic principle of mass production. Now we access mass production all over the world, and things are supposed to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Just bear that in mind as a, you know, an understanding of what economics is, and then we should be able to have more and more. You know, we should be able to share more. Therefore, we shouldn't have hunger, and there shouldn't be people living in, like, people had pictures recently of the Queen and advert, like there was I don't want to diss the Queen, but and I'm not dissing the Queen, I'll explain why, but Queen homeless, just put that and put images, and there was like this image of, this is it, all around London they've been changing all the advertising to just say the Queen in memorandum, which is good, yeah. And then all over London you've got homeless people on the street, haven't you? So now you've got homeless people sitting next to photographs of the dead Queen, and it's like, the Queen's got loads of money and all her family's got loads of money, and these homeless people are dead. It's not that simple. It's not like if we didn't have a Queen they'd all have a house. It's not that simple, is it? Boris Johnson and their cronies of all the rich, it should be pictures of Boris Johnson sat next to homeless people. Like, that's not, you know, it's the political divide that's caused this. It's the political systems that have caused this. And maybe some of the homeless people don't want to engage in the system. You know, maybe if you said to them, look, here's a house and you can go and work in McDonald's, they say, I don't want to go and work in McDonald's, fuck your house. Like, maybe some of them will prefer drugs, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that is a moving and interesting photograph. Oh, it makes a point. It doesn't really, though, because the point is so much more nuanced than that, that it's a silly thing to think. It's a silly thing to think this is that fast, life is that facile. But yeah, the economy should be providing for us all. There is enough resource. It's not, economics is no longer a social study of scarce resources everywhere. Like, maybe in some places it is, but in other places it's a study of how to create wealth with ever increasing abundance of resource. You know, the food should be getting cheaper. The items you own should be silly cheap. Like, instead of lighters going up, and I buy lighters because it's a simple item, isn't it? I buy them because I like cigarettes, and I shouldn't buy them because they end up in the sea. They're plastic rubbish, and the seagull will get it and think that looks like a fish, and it will feed it to their young and then kill the little seagull. I shouldn't be buying them, but I do, and they either maintain or go up in price. But how have plastics and, you know, manufacturing, how has that gone up? Surely economies of scale, and it should go down. These should be like in the future. You know how electronics come down in price, don't they, over years? So what they do is they make them more complex and better, and then they can charge more for them. But if you want yesterday's phone, it's cheaper now. But that's because it's yesterday's phone, not because they decided to bring the price down through the mass production. We're confused on how price should work, and we should have, honestly, we're being robbed, because we should have an abundance of food and whatever you need, And we have. When you look at these homeless people, in actual fact, there are empty houses in London, owned by oligarchs and landlords and whoever. There are empty houses in London right now. There will be empty properties. Those homeless people could occupy them, but the people who own them don't want the homeless people in them. There are, he sat in front. The other thing that is disgusting to me, the big wow, look, homeless person in front of a picture of the Queen. Oh, big wow. Another big wow is he sat in front of a fucking shop, and in that shop is enough food to feed him for life. There's enough food to feed him. In that shop is possibly a job as well, but he's not involved in that system, and that system is not, being handed out to everyone. You have to go in there and pay your money for that food. They're not going to give it to him. He has to beg for that money to get that food. So, in a way, him and the Queen are quite similar, because they're both beholden to the people, and the people choose to, not the people actually, the government, maybe the government who should be beholden to the people, but the government choose to acknowledge the Queen's and the royal family's presence and give them a stipend as such, from taxpayer money. I don't mind paying £50. As a person individually, it's £50 a year. So I don't mind being taxed 50p a year and giving it to the Queen and having the royal family. I'm actually okay with that. Some streamers do better than that anyway. Some streamers get tips and they do better than that. But this guy on the street as well, I'm also equally happy to give him 50p or all of the homeless 50p. Do you know what I mean? And elevate them out the street. And we've actually got all the means of production, and we've got all the materials, and we've got all the resources, and we put a price on them, and we hold them back and restrict them. And instead of 3D printing all of your stuff, you've got patents and laws and rules, and we make things difficult for people, and it's disgusting. Because if you're on this, I'll go all the way back to this. This is what I always think about this. We'll get on to Genshin Impact in just a second. Check this out. If you're on a desert island, it goes back to this, right? It goes back to this. If we just rock up on this tiny picture, don't you show me a tiny picture, you. Maybe it's because I'm doing that. Open image, new tab now. Bigger picture, right? So, what are you saying? Buying a new car is also difficult, yeah. Reverse mortgages seem like a real bad idea. Yeah, the monarchy's part of our history. I'm big, we don't even have to have a discussion about that. I'm just absolutely guaranteed it's worth it. And it does seem like 50p tax individuals. When you add it up, that's about what it comes to. 50p an individual pays. But a lot of people might say, I'd rather give that money to something. Well, actually, what we do as tax money is we put it all in the tax hat, and you don't decide where. My car tax goes in the tax hat. My income tax, my VAT, it all goes in the tax hat. And then Boris Johnson takes the tax hat and says, oh, what should we do with this money? I'll spend it on what I like. And then it goes and gets shared out. So you don't get a direct. In today's modern day, with fluid internet, with interesting ideas, we can't get some sort of system where people can maybe, what about this? You opt in or opt out of the royal tax. And then however many people want to opt in can pay their 50p or £1. I'll pay for you. I'll do £2. You can opt in or opt out of the royal tax. Why don't we just have that? And they'd still get the money, because there'd still be a lot of people that wanted it. And then all the people that were angry and didn't want it, they don't pay their 50p. They keep their 50p. The end. We can't have fluid democracy. No, God help, give the people some control over what they want to do. Ridiculous, isn't it? When you can vote for who's going to win the X Factor, but you can't vote for the fucking individual day-to-day governance. You just get one vote every 5 or 10 years, and let them get on with it after that. You can't vote individually on each thing. They're doing that. They're doing it for you on your behalf. What? I've got a mobile phone. I can fucking order Domino's pizza and vote for what toppings I fucking want. But I can't vote for what fucking person's going to tell me what. Anyway, we're on a desert island, yeah? We're on a desert island. We've crash landed. You, me, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, the fucking king, whoever. We're all on the desert island. We're all homeless now. So what we're going to do, imagine the island's a bit bigger actually. We need a bigger island, don't we? We need a slightly bigger island than that, because we're not all going to fit on that. Maybe one of these. maybe one of these. Right, I'm going to have to go on the north bit and I'm going to find some coconuts. You and the king, can you sort out a shelter for us on the beach, please? And, just off the beach or whatever, clear out some brush and sort us a shelter. And Joe Biden and Donald Trump are going to go fishing, yeah? So then we come back. You've built the shelter. Joe Biden and Donald Trump have got some fish. I've got some coconuts. Am I going to trade you a coconut so I can come in the shelter? And then do I have to give Donald Trump one coconut so he gives me a fish? Or are we just going to put it all in a big pile in the middle and say, these are the fish and the coconuts, this is the shelter, we're all sharing? Now, we don't have to invent money, do we? We don't have to invent trade. Like, there's all the stuff. There's all the people. I don't care if you are Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I don't care about your politics. You each get half a coconut and you each get a fish and you each get a place in the shelter. You don't have to sleep outside. You don't have to only eat coconuts. Tomorrow you can do a different job if you want. Whatever. Like, you couldn't imagine you couldn't imagine, could you, a situation in which people would say, well, we're all here on this desert island, but because you're in a wheelchair, I can't see you getting any fish. Good luck finding coconuts, wheelchair boy. Why don't you? You're going to help them. You're going to share your stuff with them, are you? Well done, old lady. You can't swim, old lady, so no fish for you. Oh, you didn't manage to make yourself a shelter, old lady. Well, fucking sleep on the beach then, you silly bitch. No, that's not going to happen. My nan is going to get a place in the shelter and I'm going to give her half of my fish if I have to, or we're going to put all the fish together and we're going to divide it by the number of people, the end. I'm vegan, I'm not going to eat fish, but you're a better tree climber, so we'll get you going up the tree and you can do the coconuts. We've got specialisations. That's what economics is about. In Kenya they grow a lot of beans and we ship them all over the world and then we all eat them. And they're very cheap per bean, much cheaper than if we all grew them in our back garden, because in Kenya they fucking grow like wildfire, fields and fields of them, specialised in it, really good at it, and then we ship that. That's globalisation, that is, and people argue against it. Okay, maybe transporting food around the world to get it packed is an issue, but in principle, having an area of the world that's better at something, like you can't actually get certain products from certain places, can you? You have to specialise, and certain countries maybe specialise in making automobiles or whatever. Specialisation is good, it's part of the economy, and then it leads to lowering prices, in theory. So in theory you come back with more coconuts today, brilliant, we've got more coconuts, an abundance today because you're good at climbing. Do you know what I'm saying? So now what are we saying? Right, coconut prices started to fall because we've got a glut of coconuts on the market. Suddenly you're not valuable to the team anymore because everyone's fed up of coconuts. We've got too many. You're not important and your coconuts are worthless because we've only caught one fish, so everyone wants the fish. Like, what a fucking stupid system we've got. Do you know what I mean? What a fucking stupid system we've got. We're on a desert island. It's just a big one. It's the Earth. We're out in space. That's the ocean. And if we're not lucky, if we're not careful, we're going to fucking demolish. Somebody's out on one side of the island burning it all down for arable farmland. Somebody's on another part of the island setting fire to fucking plastics, causing all smoke to ruin our coconuts. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're fucking it up, and it's so obvious that we should be sharing things, and that even in this economic system, trapped in it as we are, it only works if we share things. Going back to the homeless person, like, going back to that, like, the Queen shared her fucking time, like, patron of many charities. I'm sure she's done a lot to help the homeless. Let's just find out. Let's just find out what royal charity homeless. I'll just put that. Google will understand what I mean. Crisis is the national charity for the homeless people. The charity helps people directly out of homelessness, working side by side with thousands of people each year to help them rebuild their lives. So there's a royal charity called Crisis, and it is devoted to helping the homeless, and they're doing it out of that money that we give them. She's giving up her time and her money as the royal people. Well, it's the king, it says here now. The king, and already it's the king. Wow, already it's His Majesty the King. Boom. So that they're on it. They're helping. I think that's a good thing that they're doing. Remove the royal family, get rid of Crisis charity as well. Might as well get rid of that as well. But what I'm saying is, they're doing it out of charity. We are sharing, and without us doing it, from the top to the bottom, from the king to the pauper, without us doing it, it don't fucking work anyway. The economics doesn't work. People in wheelchairs don't get any help because fuck the disabled. They're not economically viable. We don't actually have a brutal Keynesian capitalist society. We don't. They're the ideals of the money system and the markets and all that. They talk about it on the telly, the interest rates. We assume it is, but real day-to-day life, it can't be, otherwise it doesn't work. It grinds to a halt. People are ground within that gear, and it grinds to a halt. It fails in terms of recession, and it doesn't manage to pick itself up and start up again without some charity and some on the boots on the ground helping each other out. So didn't she downsize? Yes, she did downsize the royal budget. Yes, she certainly did. And she cut off some of the wider royals. They used to give more money to sort of like, you know, people like that Chuffer Prince Andrew, but she cut them down. She said, look, if you're not really directly on the you know, if you're not really directly on the main table, then you're gonna have to sort your own money out, you fuckers. So is it non-stop coverage in America? That's interesting. It is here as well. Absolutely is here, and it should be, because the fucking Queen died. It's big, mate. It's big. Where's my obs? There's my obs. I'll go back to Genshin streamer. I'm a Genshin streamer, just having a test run. It's quite good. I like to see this chill room. I'm happy to do this. Happy to have my little conversations in this chill room. And I don't feel like I'm spoiling a Genshin Impact stream, because it's just a test run as well. There's Juzzy, my friend, look. And I've got somebody else trying to add me as a friend now. Bright. I don't know who that is. I'm not going to accept it because I don't know who it is. But, you know, maybe if they come back in chat and say, oh, I tried to add you, I'll accept it. I'm not trying to be rude, but, you know, forgive me for not adding people I don't know on my stream platform friends thing, because you never know. Someone could come on and type rude words in the chat, and then it could just look, you know, in the in-game chat, and it would come up on the screen. And if it's in in-game chat, then you're not, you know, you're responsible for that, me. If it's on the chat that you're in, right, if it's on the chat that you're in, then you can say what you want in there, and if it comes up on the screen and says a rude word, then I'm not responsible, because YouTube are. But you know, if it's in-game, it turns out it's a little bit more my responsibility. We're nearly at resin spend time as well. Nearly have to spend that resin with the boss fight. Let's have a go. And we're going to do the commission still. And then I've got Chinese food, and I've done a rant.
I forgot my umbrella again.
Of course, all the people that have got the big money in our economic system have got the big money in our economic system, so they're unlikely to want things to change, because they've got big money tied up in our economic system. So they're not really going to want to share that out, are they? So unfortunately, the longer it goes on, the more that's the case, the more you're going to get this disparity. And we just have to like accept it in the world, and accept that our place, I don't know about you, but the way I feel is my place, I went to a really good school and I had a lot of good opportunities, and I fucked them up the wall because I can't fit in with society. And I don't see that as a fault of mine, I see that as a fault of society's. But in theory, I should have got an economics degree, gone and worked in one of these banks and got that. I should have been the rich fucker. I should have been the one with the portfolio, based on working in a financial setting, you know, being at Wall Street. You know, buy, sell. I should have done that. Or become a lawyer. That was another option. You know, I could have studied law. Or a doctor. Now, I'm not bigging myself up like I'm some super clever chuffer, but I went to a good school. They were the options available to me had I knuckled down and got my A-levels and gone to a good university and become a doctor. One of my friends did. And it was available to me, but I said, no, I like culture and music, and I feel angry and upset inside, and I can't sit in this room doing these lessons and studies, and you know what, it wasn't however, whatever happened over the years, it wasn't for me to do that. You know, it wasn't that wasn't my system. So I'm happy to say I am where I am, but I believe that it's our place in society to understand the workings of society, and therefore to have some compassion to people that are brutalised by it. So whilst I'm not some super rich lawyer or anything like that, I'm also not some pauper. I'm also not like I say pauper is a comedic word really, because of the prince and the pauper, you know, the king and all this going on at the moment. But you know, there are people at the other end of the poverty line that are struggling, and it turns out the really rich people, not the king, because we've seen he's helping them, but you know, Boris Johnson and fucking Nadine Zahawi or whoever, they're actually making it that way to make them more poor. They know they're doing it. They understand the economics. I've just explained them all, so they know about it, and so they're not going to help. So it then falls to us, normal people, to help other normal people, doesn't it? Like in the war, it wasn't the king, and although the Queen drove trucks in the war, it wasn't them that went on the front line. It was the normal people that sacrificed themselves for other normal people. Like my nan was able to live to a lovely old age of 96 and, you know, be my nan because she lost 9 brothers, all just normal people who went out into Germany and got murdered by the Germans. So like, you know, she lost 9 brothers. Like, that's why we have those memorials and we remember these things and we take great pride in where we've got to, and that's all on the toil of normal people. That's not some super university chuffer with their clever economics degree, or, you know, someone at CERN doing large hadron colliding. It's all interesting stuff and it's all good, and, you know, I like physics, but that's not feeding people. You know, normal people are doing that. I saw a lady once give a young child a little yogurt thing and a piece of fruit because the child's mother isn't that well off, and they're like at the school gates or what have you, and she's just like, oh, here, have this. You know, just normal people helping each other out with little things that make a difference. So yeah, I need to stop talking about it now, don't I? Because I've had my rant. But you always did. You had a negative bank account when your med school called me for an entrance into it. Like, good on you for doing the whole thing. I'm proud of my peers that have done that. I see it as a very good thing to do, but I just couldn't. I think it was because of my mental health at the time. I don't think I could stand being. Like, one of the things I remember specifically about university is feeling so lost and alone in the corridors, and the only place that I felt like comforted was at the uni bar, where I had, like, there was a mate of mine who was also at the same uni, and, you know, I could usually find someone to talk to in the bar. But everywhere else I felt a bit isolated within the crowd, social anxiety and all that. But also, like, where I was at in my life and my head and stuff wasn't the same as all these, like, happy-go-lucky people at uni. Like, it's a different story, isn't it? But nowadays, I wish I'd gone to study art somewhere and just got an art degree for the sake of it and been around different people. I wish I'd never. Like, one of the things I did that was a huge mistake is I believed that the relationship that I was in, because I was, like, in a relationship with this girl, and I believed that was the most important thing, and I think it was sort of a product of, like, my anxiety about being alone, and anxieties from growing up that meant I didn't want the relationship to end. So when she decided to go to Bristol University, that was the one I wanted to go to, and that was a huge mistake. Like, Bristol was great, but following someone else's dream and trying to support them even though you're growing yourself as a person, I just thought, you know, I'll make sure that she has anything she wants and
Time to act.
Go. You know, do you know what I mean? I just felt that was most important. It wasn't. It was a mistake, and I would have been better off saying, like, if I could have gone back and told myself, look, if you split up with her, you're going to feel bad for about 6 months, but you're going to feel better after it. So you're better off doing it now, because otherwise you're going to feel even worse in a few years when she splits up with you. Like, I'd have just been better off not with her. That would have been better. But, you know, it's your first love relationship thing, isn't it? And you're like, oh,
It's my lucky day.
and it took a lot for me to finally realise that, you know, this is not for me. All by the by, and you are who you are because of, you know, all those things, and you're not going to sit there and complain. And in fact, I'm happy in my skin. And I know that I'm a good person. I do things that sometimes make people cross, but often can come good where it counts.
With sword comes shadow.
And over the years as well, being able to support my, like, not directly financially maybe as such, although recently, thanks to your tippies, I've become less of a burden and more of a contributor. But being able to help, you know, nurse my nan was big. And I don't, like, maybe if I'd lived a different life and, you know, I was off in my Ferrari, maybe I wouldn't care to do that. But, you know, I'm glad of who I am. I'm lucky to be who I am. So. And there's been a lot of good people over the years that have shown me all these good messages and these, you know, I didn't learn this by mistake. Good people helped me to mature.
Cut to the chase.
And like, even you have been part of this journey, you know, going through the ASMR process, and it's got electrocuted dent on it. Going through the ASMR stuff, you know, that was all part of a journey, wasn't it? And yeah, it's all part of it. A YouTube, hello Capital K, yeah, second test for this room, testing Genshin Impact on the computer with a microphone and a mixing desk today. That's come on the Amazon. The microphone I already had, but the mixing desk is new, so we've now got better sound, and Genshin Impact is running, and I'm using my phone to look at the chat. So it's another step. So it's another test. I don't want to just. I actually, as stupid as this sounds, the main channel. I don't want to just put loads of rubbish on the main channel. Of course I do. That's what it is. That's all it is. A load of rubbish. But well, the technical requirements. You know, I've also run the wire out the house for the front room one as well. So I'm a proper streamer now, innit? Yeah, I'm a professional streamer. I'm a professional streamer. But yeah, when I'm doing technical ones that I'm trying, running a stream to see if, because at the start I had to find the phone and mess about. I want to get things solid and running, and then I'll go back to the main channel and we'll be playing Genshin Impact. I'm only doing my commissions here. I'm not playing Genshin Impact properly. I'm doing a test, and tonight I'll watch it and I'll see that Genshin Impact works and the volume works and the thing, and I'll go, oh good, that's okay. So this is just a little rough test, and because of that, Snips has had me talking about economics.
Our work's done for the day.
I got talking about it. We got talking about it, so it's slightly political. It's slightly political. But not really political. Not like, chop off his head. Get him out of there. I don't like it. Not that sort of politics. They had one, I don't know if you saw this on the news in America, right? They had in it, mate. They had one of these in America, in Scotland. There was a bloke who shouted as the funeral procession went past, as the Queen in her coffin was taken to the aeroplane to take her to London. Someone thought it was appropriate to shout like something about Prince Andrew's a pedo and they're not supporting pedos. Why am I walking? Is she going to move properly? Walking, she's walking. Hang on. Usually it's caps lock that does that, but it's not doing it. See, she's walking. Why is that happening? Did it say it on the screen? Have I missed it? Switch to running. There's a button for it. Switch to walking. Brilliant. There was a bloke anyway that he shouted out at the coffin. He shouted, pedos, Prince Andrew's a pedo, and what happened was, obviously it's a public disturbance, that is. It's not like I'm a peaceful protester. Protesting against the royal family is acceptable. Yeah, totally acceptable. Get all your placards and your things and go and do a protest. Do it. Go for it. During the 10 days of national mourning when the Queen's coffin coming past, don't do it there. That's not the right place to do it. Because regardless of politics, that's the Queen's coffin. Regardless of matters of state, that's a lady who lived and she died and she's in a coffin. You don't protest it, right? So the police were trying to get that guy, and there was a conversation about free speech, and there have been more protests at Buckingham Palace and more conversations about free speech when those people have been arrested for public order offences, because at the public processional funeral of the monarch, you are creating a public disturbance by bringing your politics and shouting about it, whatever it is. Nobody's to be in. If you're in the crowd blowing a fucking trombone, you'd be arrested for public order offence because there's a fucking Queen's coffin coming past and you're blowing a trombone. Right? Unless you stopped it, you'd be arrested. So that's happened recently, and there's been this conversation about it. But don't know if you saw that on the news. Yeah, protest some other time. It's a funeral. How disrespectful. How disrespectful. It doesn't matter what Prince Andrew. Like, I'm not big on Prince Andrew being a pedo. Obviously not. In fact, I'm against it. But you're not going to be like, you're not going to be shouting it at the Queen's funeral. And so yeah, so the funniest thing, I mean, it's not funny, but some members of the public grabbed this guy and bundled him to the ground before the police did. So people have been saying, hey, isn't that good? It's not good. They assaulted him. It's not good. They assaulted him. But it's just funny that you would think that the people who are all out on the street to mourn the Queen would accept you shouting about it, just to, like, all the biggest burliest people grabbed hold of the fucker and put him down. Like, stupid bastard. Why am I running? Switch, walk, run, left control. Okay. There you go. Switch to walking. Right, no. Switch to running, yeah. Running. Just running. There's an Electrolux here that nobody's got. What's going on with that? Some bags. Where's my Electrolux? Is it up in the air? Oh, I hate it when I can't see them and figure it out. Maybe I've come here before and that's why I can't. There's definitely an Electrolux over there somewhere, though. Is it up in a tree? I'm stood nearly on it. Let's have my Electrolux shoot. See, what's this about? Where's the fucking Electrolux? I'm not supposed to link these wires together, am I? I hate this. They don't tell you anything. It's like, oh, there's one around here somewhere. Could be underground. Could be a puzzle. I'll just leave that. Let's just go and do the commission. Emergency. People are... Oh, Twitter's the most bizarre thing I've seen. I mean, Twitter's, again... I think the thing with Twitter is you're looking at demographics. You're looking at the older people now being on Facebook. The people who that are young and have fun, they're on TikTok. The people who are more self-absorbed, they're on Instagram. And then Twitch and YouTube are for normal people like us. And then Twitter is for people who have been embittered by life. Embittered by life to the point where they would spend their time like seeing the worst things that they can think played out in front of them on Twitter. I see all the worst things. I don't want to see it. It just keeps coming up in the feed and I block it and I remove it. It's just, you know, I don't imagine anyone's got a really nice Twitter feed, have they, with all nice things happening. It's just, I think it's a form, it's a symptom of the platform. I don't know what the word is, you know. I don't think you get that everywhere. I think it's just Twitter that's doing that. I think maybe in some ways their algorithm must promote it. This discussion, argument, you know, confrontation, and I mean, I'm just the same. I've got that and Tartary that we follow. You know, I did the episode about it. They keep churning out the bullshit, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh, you fucking dick. Triggered. Not really bad, not triggered, but I have to say, you know, please question this narrative. And maybe I'm wasting my time. You know, the best thing to do on Twitter, and I see Steve doing it as well. I need to get back in touch with Steve. I think because he said he was off for a bit, non-contactable on the DMs, so I'm letting him have a bit of time off before I start to like poke him again. But I shut up, Steve. You know, Steve of the Dead. I see him sometimes, and I feel the same. Like that, certain things in. I was reasoning out in my brain the other day. Because of this Twitter, because of this. I was saying, look, certain things in life I don't find acceptable, or I don't find satisfactory, and yet I see them on this platform quite a lot, really. And then I'm compelled to reason or debate or argue or leave a comment, and the people I'm saying it to or about or whatever, they're not, you know, just being positive on Twitter is very difficult, isn't it? Your Twitter's used exclusively for, that's probably the best way to do it, isn't it? My calves, what happened there? I'm wearing shorts, yeah, I'm wearing my jammies, just wearing shorts. You can see the whole room, can't you? I've got a tattoo on my leg. Yeah, so I think Twitter's just a strange place, and when I find myself, I reasoned it out the other day, you know, it's Twitter that's doing it to me. Because before I started looking on Twitter, I wasn't feeling like that. And before I started responding to comments, I wasn't feeling like that, you know. So I reason out the best things mental health wise is to just leave Twitter. And I think, you know, if you think that, then imagine how many people that are a bit less, because me and Steve are a bit more likely to stick it out and wallow in our own self-righteous aggression. You know, in a way it embitters us, it makes us embittered. Because, like, I mean, Darkside Phil's a great example. Oh, the guy did this. Oh, you fucking... Oh, God, can't believe... Like, why am I angry? Why am I... I don't need to feel like that. What I need to feel like is... I like Genshin Impact. It makes me feel better. Like, it makes me feel better. It's like a medicinal thing. It's like mental health medicine. And Twitter's like the opposite. Twitter's like sticking pins in your eyes. So, the calves were carving. It's because I used to do fencing. I've got, like... developed muscles in my legs from endless fitness regime. Yeah, like so Twitter's a bad place, full of bad things, and yet we do it to ourselves, don't we? And it's really hard to make it into a nice place full of nice things. It keeps sneaking in. I think the algorithm likes to have people arguing and debating and getting tetchy. It leads to more engagement. So the best thing for our mental health is to leave Twitter well alone. Because they've said some abhorrent things on there that I've not heard in the streets. I've not heard from the general populace, but from, you know, amongst everyone I've spoken to, the general consensus is, even if you're not a royalist, she was a good person. I'm not here to debate the monarchy on her deathbed, but you know, maybe we could have some more modernisation, but I don't hate the tradition, and I'm kind of in some way a little bit happy being British, that we've got a bit of British pageantry and something that's ours to show the world. You know, there's that general consensus. Not big politics, not fucking, you know, what they're looking at on Twitter. Whatever they're doing on Twitter is some weird distortion of what's going on. It's not the normal people in the day-to-day lives. And I tell you, like I said, my nan was never on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mom's not on Twitter. I name 10 people you know, and how many of them are on Twitter churning out shit into the world? Oh, none of them. It's only the fucking people who are really angry. It's Twitter for you. Not Scott. I'm a royalist. God save the Queen. I've sold my soul to. I've devoted my. I was a Cub Scout, and when you're a Cub Scout, you'd say oath of allegiance to the Queen. So, you know, I've spoken my oath of allegiance to the Queen. Thanks very much. She's dead now, though. So now I'm sans oath. I need to go back to Cubs and reaffirm my oath. I think they'll be unlikely to want me there at the Cub Hut. What are you doing here? I've come to swear allegiance to the King. Yeah?
Don't blink.
Well, today we're doing like 9-year-old and 10-year-olds camp learning to tie knots. Are we? Is it not?
Nowhere to hide.
I think there's a lot of Cub Scouts across the land that are going to want to reaffirm their oath. So can we not do maybe a? Well, next week they're all going camping. So do you want to volunteer to be a scout leader? No, I just want to reaffirm my oath. Oh, what's this? I'm not doing this properly. Look, here's the electric thing. I'm supposed to be stood next to the electric thing. I'm fucking this up. Where's my homunculus? Where's my electric gendrus? Hang on, where's my electric? It's supposed to be one of those electric things that you touch, and then you get your stuff and you stand next to that, and it kills them.
Okay, faster.
You fucking chuffer. Where's the electric thing? Is it just I stand next to it? Doesn't seem to be working, that electric thing. It's going to disappear when I've killed these things, but they're supposed to help me kill them.
Go. Dumpy, Dumpy, go! Ring cutter.
I feel like I'm getting chiefed here. No, it's gone up there. It started to work. It's working now. Because she's gone electric, it was working. Oh, it's finished now. I killed them. Forget it. Stupid electric thing. Big news over GoldenEye, wasn't it? Big news about GoldenEye. There's a chest over there. Look at that. Chest just on there. Pin that. We're going to go and spend some resin now and then do our last commission. And resin at the moment is this fucking thing. This is making me sadder than the Queen dying, this one.
The sun is out. Our work's done for the day. Shall we take a stroll?
I have to keep going and killing this Animo cube for sucrose. It's worse than the fucking Queen dying. I need to bash up this Animo cube. I don't know why. It was one of the first bosses that we encountered. It wasn't even the hardest. But there's something about it that makes me not happy. I think it's the fiddly nature of having to get the Animo things out. Yeah, it's fiddly.
Time to act.
Here we go.
Body and mind.
I don't even change my squad or anything. I can't remember what's good and bad for Animo, so I just fucking go at it like this. Does that, and it doesn't matter because it's going to kill me, this thing. So I do this. Oh, it didn't kill me. It didn't kill me. Oh, I'm still alive.
Speed of light.
It's getting its head kicked in. Not really getting its head majorly kicked in, though, has it? It's only done a quarter damage there. Could have had a half off. So wait for it to piddle us around. It's piddling us around now. Come back down, yes.
Dumpy, Dumpy. Hey.
Pow! And it goes up in the air again too quick. I stay down and let me kill you. Alright, then there's this, and this is just killing it again. Right, I just kill it.
Don't blink.
No worry there. Now what's it doing? It's casting out some ray or something. I don't know what it's doing. Kill it. Get in there and kill it. Quicker.
Jumpy dumpy go.
Half energy now. So it'll try and kill me now. Where's it going? Yep, does this. This is the one that kills me. But it's just random, so you just keep out of the way of these, yeah? But you see how my bombs have turned into red? I always get distracted by that. All my bombs have made it go red. Look, they've got red ones up there now. Ooh. So I better get in there and kill it anyway.
Incoming.
Right, now I need to run away and it's going to fire these things at me. No, get in and kill it. Missed a chance to kill it then. Now I need to run away so it can fire these things at me, yeah? No?
La la la.
What's it doing?
Da da da.
I'll kill you.
La la la. Boing boing. Don't blink. Hey.
Right, now it's going to fire these things at me, yeah? Oh, it's come right close to me to fire them at me. Chuffer. Bad chuffer. Like that, yeah, like that. So I'm alright, I don't have to do anything, look. Just does that. Then I go and kill it again. I don't know why this is bad, I don't know why I hate it. I just don't like it, I'm just fed up of it. Maybe it's because I've had to do it like 10 times this week already. It's doing, what's it doing? I'm just going to go and kill it.
Let me weave you a verse. Incoming.
Saving up my special for a moment when it might be more stationary, because as soon as I use that special, it does moving away. Right.
Nowhere to hide.
So I mean, as soon as I did the special, it closed up. Oh, I've got it now, yeah, I've got it now. You're dead now.
Rain outlines your...
Come on. Quick, 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 quick. Well, okay, now I've got to do this faffing about, flying around with these. Been quite an easy one there, putting them next to each other. I missed that jump. I feel under pressure. Got those two, that should be it, that should be it. Okay, kill it one more time, yeah?
Don't blink.
No? Can I kill it? Can you leave me alone now? Can I kill it? No?
Life goes on.
Dead, aren't you?
Jumpy dumpy go.
Still not dead. Dead, right,
La
okay.
la la.
Wasn't terrible. It was easier on screen. Obtained. Crit attack defense. Look at this. Two of these. What the fuck? Where's my chunks? Where's my gold ones? I can only ever get the rubbish. And the other day I got 2 of those and 1 of those. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's 40 resin that is for that, you chuffer, you bad chuffer. You could do a psychoanalysis on stream, standing itself. What we need to do is, I've noticed as well, just because I'm a massive stalker, that Steve, because of Twitter as well, I think Steve's one of these people like me that stays up late at night and finds it difficult to get up in the morning and keep appointments sometimes, and through health reasons and like other reasons. I think and then I think he beats himself up over it a little bit. So I don't know what he was doing last week, but he said he wanted some time to, not be on DMable. Fair enough, but I've got this secret suspicion that we might end up doing more late night chats in this room. I might just say, look, forget the formality. You're online, I'm online. Do you want to have a chat? I might do that one of these nights. But since I don't really know the guy, I still feel inhibited. If he heard me saying this, he'd probably say, "Oh, don't be inhibited." It's true though. I just still feel a bit. Am I intruding by calling you at 11 o'clock on Twitch? On Discord, or do you know what I mean? It feels a bit intrusive, especially when he recently said needed a bit of time. So, but all in good time. All in good time. What am I doing there? I spent a bit of resin. Now we're going to do our final commission. The taste of home. I wonder what that's about. Food, probably. So I'll tell you what it is. Somebody's going to want me to give them some food that, like, oh, I'm from Mondstadt or I'm from Leeway and I want my favourite food, and you've got to go and cook it and give it to them. But instead, I'll just give them something out of my inventory, and they'll be happy with that. Little legs, longer legs makes quicker running apparently. Oh look, the doggin's having a bit of food as well. Having a bit of waiting for your turn waiting for your turn, being a good dog. And there we go. It'd be nice to have some leeway, Kazine. Told you. Just look. Skip. Leeway, Kazine. She went on about meat. I don't do meat. Which should we prepare with meat? Let's see. Paimon's favourite dishes are the meat dishes. I don't want to make any of the meat dishes. The goulash. I've got loads of that. Aren't these all your favourite food, Paimon? Goulash, because I've got loads of that. Goulash. Go on then. Where is she? There she is. Tang Wen. Please enjoy. This taste, well, it doesn't seem to taste like Leeway or Inazuma. The taste is really new to me. I fucked it up. Somehow I fucked up the soup. Thanks. Please accept these. What she was trying to tell me there is you're not a very good cook and you fucked that up. I was looking forward to the... She gave me some raw meat. Oh. Kind of a... I told you I was vegan. What do you think this green thing is around me? What do you think this green things... Why do you think I chose the green CD? You can leave me alone, you. Give me raw meat. Can I drop it on the floor in front of her? There. Yuzu, you're an adventurer. What are you doing? You heard from Furiara Noboru that you're an adventurer from afar. Well, did I? You're getting ready for an overseas adventure yourself. Could I tell you some stories? You'll need a sword. You'll need to fish for a Paimon. Furiara Noboru's intel is actually pretty good. You'll need a sword. Does it really have to be a sword? I thought that knife might be easier to use when surviving in the wild. Oh, you mean mining? That's true. And if experienced adventurers should bring materials, she's going to go and go to the blacksmith. That was a good chat. Glad we had that little chat. Get out of the way, you. Watch out, Ree. Someone's doing some running here. Watch out for you. You. Oh, I bumped into you. That woman over there was asking about you and a sword, so I just thought you'd like to know.
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Yeah, alright. Heard that before.
Thank you for completing today's commissions.
I think she's a robot, because she sometimes says error.
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
And then dispatch a character. Let's get some of these claimed. Where there's blame, there's a claim. And where there's things to collect out in the wild, I have to send some of my characters. Mondstadt, welcome to Mondstadt, concrete jungle where dreams are made up. There's nothing you can do. Now you're in Mondstadt. Green lights will inspire you. Kaya's going off on the journey, doing the things, get him out, send him out. And that's all. I just need to... I probably won't be able to... Will I? I don't know. Let's have a look. Craft up some condensed. How much condensed can I do? 2. Because I'm not going to bang on and on now. I'm going to go and eat my dinner. Hopefully it arrived. I'm going to check this stream is all good, and then let me just check my map. 36, yeah, I'm alright. I'll come back later maybe and do some more. I'm too polite. You want to have a chat? You want to have a chat? Who's Steve? Steve's a psychologist, and I was going to get him on to talk about human psychology, maybe some mental health stuff. He's a forensic psychologist, and I was introduced to his content through the Dark Side Phil stuff, which is why I did an episode on Dark Side Phil. I'm not big on the Dark Side Phil stuff necessarily myself. Like, I've seen it, I'm interested in the story, I've looked at it. It was an interesting thing. And now I've sort of, like, in my life, moved on from it a bit, but bringing it to stream could also involve... turn that off, turn this one. Bringing it to stream could also involve... There's my tummy rumbling now. So basically, the Dark Side Phil story is that he's a streamer who's a bit of a chuffer and does a lot of e-begging and really... like pushes his audience, give him money, and like it's sort of like it is unethical what he does, and he's done a lot of bad things as well, like racist slurs, all sorts of stuff. So he's a bit of a bad chuffer, and this Steve of the Dead here on his channel has been covering Dark Side Phil's behaviour and analysing it psychologically. It's been interesting, so I've watched that. I enjoy it. Look, you see, I've watched all his videos. Well, they're on red, and then down here we've got some like a video game's addictive. That's an interesting one, isn't it? That suits our stream a bit more. And so I thought we could get this Steve on to talk about some of these concepts on our stream and maybe pay him. So I floated that suggestion to him, and he said positively response. And then then I went on holiday, and then he got busy, and then there was he said he was busy and he couldn't respond to DMs. And then I think he's getting back in the flow because he's released a couple of videos recently. So, you know, get on the push for some interest. He's British as well. He's quite like me. He likes metal music. So there'll be some conversations that are like stream. It's pushing towards podcast. Hopefully it's good content is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully we can deliver some good content with me being the sort of interviewer, questioner, and Steve being my sort of expert opinionator. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's a good start. So if you want, you can have a chat, but you're having a chat right now. Takes it right up the what? He says what? He just takes it. Oh, I see. He takes it. Oh, yeah. Up the whammer. I'm polite. I am. He's a lot of material if you just read his chat. Yeah, there's so much. The dark side Phil, I would say as well, Steve in his content has mentioned he'd like to branch out and has previously done other videos. And I know that in YouTube, if you're doing lots of videos and you're getting more success with a certain type, talking about dark side Phil, it helps you to become niche but grow. And that's good in a way because you're growing, you're getting more views, and by carving a niche, that's how you get big. We discussed it before, but also I appreciate his desire to spread out and branch out. So hopefully, let's say for example, I get a different. We come from a different angle, have a different conversation. He can upload that to his channel as well, and it helps him creating content. He can edit it if he wants, whatever. You know, I'm opening that. I'm not saying because I'm paying you, I own the content and you can't do anything with it. That's not what I'm doing. But in certain contexts, I would like to do that. If we were to do an official podcast or something like that, I'd like to come up with a system where, you know, because it's supposed to be my podcast, so please don't take it away and edit it and do whatever you want with it. But then again, you know, modern world, maybe I should just say, you know, you can do what you want with it. But you know what I mean? If you have guests on your podcast, you don't generally you sign a waiver, you sign a form so that you say that you're on my podcast and you can't just go and edit my podcast and put it on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we've got to come to some sort of agreement on that, I suppose. But initially, I'd like him to be able to use the content and share it on his channel if he wants, because I watched him say that he would like to branch out and not only talk about Phil. And I think if you leave him to it, there's too much Phil. There never seems to be enough Phil. There's too much Phil and there's too much time. There's not enough time and too much Phil. So he will never be finished talking about Phil, because Phil will never stop talking. So if I can talk to him and get him on a different subject, then it might help with that. So we can help each other to create content together, for the benefit of everyone. That's the aim. So that would be fun. I keep saying these things, you know, I have these ideas, and I'm happier to say the idea on stream than to actually text somebody and get them talking, because it's there never seems to be a good time, and it never seems like there's a little bit of inhibition in me that's a bit worried or anxious. Anxious is the right word. So I tend to be very slow about it, but I'm sure these things will come to good in the end. And at the moment, like, I'm doing this room again, and I'm always thinking about an idea and getting all the tech and you know, things in place, but I need to actually do that other push. Like, it's all well and good getting microphones and cameras, but having people talking on it is important as well, isn't it? So that's part of it. Yeah. So I say that all the time now these days. So we've had a good stream, haven't we? How long have we done? I can't tell. Live streaming. 200. Don't even say it's on. Live. It is on my phone. It's working on my phone. So we're 2 hours in. We've done a nice stream. That's been good. I think that works as a good test again. So I'll probably be Genshin Impact later. Might even be on this rig, you know, doing a bit more. Who knows? As I come upstairs and chill out in this room a lot, I'm going to be doing more streaming. That's the thing about this computer. I've been up in this room in days past. Recently, let's have some background relax for just last 10 minutes. Oh, there it is, and they're doing a stream as well. They're doing phoning it in. So I watched this fantastic Mr. Sam and Meerkat talking about Darkside Phil, and so does Steve. Steve's involved in it. He's been on it. So you know, maybe there's a clash of timings here. But you know, I sit in this upstairs room and I'll watch these YouTube videos on my phone, and I'll smoke. And before I had the rig up here, I used to think to myself, oh, I could be streaming. But this isn't my mainstream, this room, this smoking and this vibe. This is not my mainstream, so that's why I'm actually really pleased that we've got I'm actually really pleased that we've got it set up. Hey, why would I want to buy that? I don't want to buy that. Leave me alone. I wanted relaxing sounds, so you give me that. I'm really pleased that we've got it set up, because now it's set up, isn't it? So anytime I feel like switching on when I'm up here vibing and chilling, we're going to add the music in. I'm going to try and get everything step by step. It's always moving forward. I'm glad that we're moving forward as well, even though it seems like a sideways moving away. I'm still glad that we're moving forward. Yeah, I'm smoking in here. Like, I'm indoors smoking in this room. I have the fan on, I blow it out that window, and I'm in the attic, so no one else smells it downstairs. But officially, I'm not to smoke in the downstairs room unless everyone's out and they're not coming home. It sounds like sounds from SpongeBob. Do you know what? I've never even watched a full episode of SpongeBob. Not a full one. I've seen a bit of pieces here and there, but it was a bit after my time. Just never even watched a full episode. But, you know, I had it as the little logo the other day as well, didn't I? Like, I'm aware of SpongeBob and the goings on. I'm aware of their work. You got to pick up your retainer. Got to wear it as well. My fucking dentist said to me, I said my teeth are changing shape at the bottom. They're a bit wobbly. And my dentist actually said to me, did you wear your retainer? And I was like, I don't remember. I was 16, you fuckhead. And they're like, it's your fault for not wearing your retainer. And I'm like, what? You sure my teeth aren't slipping back? You should have worn your retainer. Oh, you fuckers. Too late now. British people and their teeth. I will. I'll watch it one day. It's just like when SpongeBob. Let's find the dates. I'll reveal my age. Not exact. Sponge. I suppose I should have still been watching it. SpongeBob. I want to tell you what I was doing when it was happening. 1999 to 2004. So I was at a rave. At that point in my life, I was interested in. I'd even gone through the rave cycle, and I was at uni and fucking up my life. Like, I was going out getting really hammered, so there was no time for SpongeBob. We didn't even have a TV license, I don't think, at the house. I used to only use my television for PlayStation, and I spent most of my time getting hammered or working at a restaurant. So when SpongeBob kicked off and became popular, I was on a spiral of self-destruction. So it just came a little bit after my time. I suppose The Simpsons were more my generational avant-garde cartoon. I remember The Simpsons kicked off when I was about 8 years old, maybe younger, and like we could only get it on video from my dad, who had satellite television. I'd sometimes get to watch it, but over the years, I sort of grew up. Futurama would probably be my thing as well, but unfortunately not SpongeBob. I'm old, not old, but old enough to know better. My nan used to say I'm as old as my tongue and not as old as my teeth. I'm as old as my tongue, but not as old as my teeth. So I'm going to go and eat some din-dins. I might get back on this in a little bit if I feel like it. You never know. That's what Battery Exhaust is going to be about. It's the upstairs rig for when I feel like nothing special, no agenda, no we're doing this today, I've got a thumbnail, no like big Genshin Impact stories, not the big rig, not the main rig, just a bit of this, bit of that. We can play games, we can talk SpongeBob, we can do whatever. So it's just chill streams here. You were at rave when I wasn't even at school yet. Maybe so. I mean, yeah, and also I went to raves when I was too young to officially go to raves, bear in mind, started going out to like clubs at about 16 or so. 15 to 16. Like, it was an age, it's different in America because you've got to be 21, but in England you have to be 18. So, like, being of that age and nearly, and getting a fake ID and getting in and, getting a drink at the bar, getting served. It used to be like, can anyone get served? Can you get served? And different places would serve you and other places wouldn't, and you give your money to this oldest looking member of your crew to go to the bar, or you go to the bar and you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll have a pint of my usual. Oh, sorry, you don't know my usual because you're not my usual barman at my usual pub where I'm always going to the pub and I have a usual. So you'd get me a pint of what kind of drinks do you have? Well, that sounds nice. I'll try. I mean, I always have that. I'll have that. Pint of my usual, good fellow, please. 2 pints of my usual. I'm not that old. Oh yeah, I'm not that old. I mean, I was going to a fucking rave, wasn't I? I wasn't going to a fucking. I wasn't going to. I'm trying to think of something that's a really old version of a rave, but they don't have old versions of raves, do they? Like a medieval version of a rave. The hanging, probably. Everyone turned out for the hanging. I don't know. I'm not that old. Old enough. Anyway, look, you be good, my little Pukosh. You be good, and I'm going to go and eat my dinner. And remember, if you can't be